Was his response came
Sargon
out
made a
today.
video about that. No, he fucking that 5 by or whatever the fuck it's called. Right? He had them make a video where they said something about kill all the Jews. Right? Make a sign and hold it up. That shit was quite a while ago, and that was when the
Yeah.
whole calling him a Nazi thing started.
Okay.
What
Crowd
happened
came out
recently was
11
Disney
hours
dropping
ago.
him. Disney
Okay.
dropped him like 2 days ago. That's the most recent of the news, but the Nazi thing's been going on for
Chris Ray
quite a
Guns
while.
came out 5 hours ago.
You're just not listening. You're
No, but
just
I'm saying
ignoring.
all I'm
I'm
listening.
saying that the thing has been going on. Yes, they're making videos about how now Disney has dropped him. That's what those new videos are about. Calling him a Nazi has been going on for quite a while.
And all of I'm actually seeing in Facebook the Washington Post and people like saying YouTube star being, but I guess they are reporting on the Disney thing. Okay, well, I didn't see
Yeah,
it before.
yeah. That was my whole point.
And you guys failed to bring it up in Discord.
Why
So
would we? Why would we bring it up?
We
It's a
absolutely
non-thing.
talked about it in Discord. We
That
talked
too.
about it.
well, I watch what people post. People post articles and videos, and no one posted anything on this one except just like now. Anyway, this is dumb. It's so
No,
dumb.
we actually talk about it in voice, so
Yeah, we
that's
talked about
your
it
fault.
for a while in voice.
Like 2 or 3 days ago, we were talking about it.
Okay, well, I
There's a
don't
whole thing. We're playing the stupid game, and
I
we
don't
kept
play the
talking about it.
game.
Don't play the game. Come talk to us in voice.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, but
voice
then
isn't in the game, so
you guys are always talking about the game, and then I get bored.
it's your fault. See, you're
So
just not
what?
willing to make the sacrifice for the good stuff.
Even if I wanted to play the game, which I don't, because I think video games are a complete waste of time. But even if I wanted to, I couldn't because I don't even have computer to. So thank Loki for that.
You guys are welcome.
So what articles
Okay.
we? Oh, did you see this bitch who said that on the sorry, the girl who was saying that Sharia law is feminist with her turban thingy?
Yep.
Jackie Lambie. Oh, no, that's the lady who was against her.
She's a little
Oh,
crazy, but they all are. That's why they're Muslims. Brother Bear says, "Fuck me." Well, thanks, Brother Bear. Thanks for contributing to the conversation. So I figured we'd start it off by talking about the protests, right?
there's still more protests.
Of course, they're gonna protest for the next 4 years and guarantee that Trump gets another 4 years if
Is
he
George
wants it.
Soros just like fuck it? Like I'm just gonna keep going until
Well, I mean, what he's paying protesters to protest, he's making back. He's making more than that, so he's not losing. I mean, he's losing money technically, but he's earning more money than he's
he's
spending
earning money by having
just
these
sitting there.
protests.
No, he's earning money just by sitting there. And when you're worth lots of money, all you have to do is have your money sit in the bank, and you can make more than it costs for like 100 people to live.
See, this is why people hate rich people.
Hmm? Well,
No,
here's the thing: is
not hate. They want to be rich
yeah,
people. There's a
it's envy.
difference.
They're green with envy, while the
But
rich
not
people are
money.
green with
Definitely not
money.
money.
Anyways, so inside the Black Bloc militant protest movement as it rises up against Trump, because it's all his fault. The movement first made its presence felt in California more than 2 decades ago, then built its forces amid the protests against the Iraq War. Because they're fucking wrong then, they're wrong now. There you go. So, a long history of being wrong. Out of the sea of largely peaceful anti-war demonstrators marching in San Francisco's financial district in 2003, a more militant subgroup emerged. Its members wore black masks, black jackets, black hoods, and helmets. They smashed windows and looted military recruitment offices. Since then, the so-called Black Bloc protesters have become a force in the Bay Area and beyond. They have been blamed for violence during protests in Oakland over corporate power and police abuse, notably the case of Oscar Grant, an unarmed black man who was killed by BART police in 2009. Let's see, Oscar
Whoa.
Grant. Was that the one who was shot? Like, I think that one was like legitimately a bad shooting. There was like a fight or something on one of the metros or something like that, and they had him like handcuffed on the ground, and he like rolled or something like that, and the cop shot him.
Oh, is that was that one? That was
I'm
pretty
pretty sure
bad.
that was that one. But that one was like legitimate. Like, okay, yeah, they
Yeah.
fought, but it was over, and he was in handcuffs.
Yeah, and
Um,
then they were yeah.
I mean, they were like, I think he was trying to record him at first or something like that. That's why they threw him down on the ground, and then he rolled over and they fucking shot him. Well, one
He's
cop
only
shot him, not they.
22.
Yeah, so. Um, Scorned by critics on both the left and right and hunted by police, the Black Bloc is bringing its radical tactics to the massive protest movement sparked by the presidency of Donald Trump. Because just his very existence is bad. I mean, he hasn't done really anything. Like, I mean, honestly, what has he done that's so horrible that
He
you
made
have
that
to destroy your local Starbucks?
I
he
don't
made that
know.
guy resign.
That guy that nobody liked.
Yeah, he made him resign.
Yeah, which that shit was funny.
Wait,
Shit
so
cracks me up.
yeah,
What?
I still don't know what happened there.
It's a non thing, and I have no. I'm like, I would like in my video. I said I would have fired the guy. I mean, he lied to the vice president. Um, and they're like, well, that doesn't seem like something to fire the guy over. In my personal opinion, that's totally a legitimate reason to fire somebody.
I don't know.
Um,
It doesn't look good that he's firing people left and right.
well, I mean, you got to clean house. Well, I think one of his big mistakes, like a lot of presidential hopefuls, when they do get elected, they actually switch up. Like the people who run their campaign and the people who are a part of their campaign don't tend to be the same people who make up their cabinet and White House staff. Um, people who are good on the campaign are not necessarily good in running the administration. So there is that, and I think he took too many of them with him into the White House, and now he's got a clean house. But that whole guy's thing was, I mean, straight up, he did not do anything um, illegal, right? I guess lying to the vice president might
What did he lie
qualify
to
as,
him
as something.
about?
Talking to the Russian ambassador about the sanctions that Obama had put on. You remember, like,
Yeah, okay,
after the
okay.
election, Obama kicked out the Russian ambassadors. So this guy called one of the Russian ambassadors that he knew personally and talked to him, and apparently sanctions had come up. I was like, so even if he told the guy, "Don't worry, I'm pretty sure Trump's going to get rid of the sanctions," I still don't see anything wrong with that. Um, Obama did the same thing, talked to Iran when Bush was on his way out. After he got elected, he called the Ayatollah and talked to them,
Okay.
basically saying, "Oh, well, don't worry, we're going to make it better for Iran because Bush is on his way out. I'm coming in. Everything's going to be fine." Um, Bill Clinton went and negotiated with North Korea to get 2 American citizens back as a civilian with no authority from the White House. Like the White House said, he's not going as a part of our administration. He's going as a private citizen. And he went and negotiated, and who knows what deals
So
that he
you're
made.
saying so Flynn didn't do anything wrong?
Other than lying to the vice president, but I see that as a fireable offense, and it wouldn't surprise me if Trump
Why
did
did he
too.
choose to lie though? Why would he be afraid?
Because
Like
he
why
was
would he lie?
afraid that, well, it's bad optics. Obviously, that's ammunition for the media to throw at him. But it's not really a scandal. And honestly, all you had to do is be like, yeah, I talked to him, and I told him that our administration is going to be a lot more friendly with Russia than Obama has been. That's not undermining anything. No crime is
So
really committed
instead he
there.
said no, I didn't talk to them.
Yes, he told the vice president that he did not talk about sanctions with the Russian ambassador.
Oh.
And then the intelligence, now, because they're like, oh, well, the intelligence fucking people told Trump that they believed that he did talk about the sanctions with the Russian ambassador, and then he lied to the vice president about it. So I'm assuming that Trump took his word over the intelligence community, and then the intelligence community is like, all right, here's that evidence that shows that he actually did do this. And I see that as a fireable offense because it kind of makes you look bad because you go and you believe him, and then it turns out he fucking lied to you too. So it kind of makes you look like an ass. But really, I think it's a non issue. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anyways, the masked militant went fist to fist with neo Nazis at the state capitol in June, where 5 of their allies were stabbed. Black Bloc tactics also dogged Trump's inaugural ceremonies in Washington, leaving broken windows, vandalized banks, and a torched limo. And early this month, on the UC Berkeley campus, Black Bloc militants tore down police barricades, broke windows, started a fire, and assaulted Trump supporters. Yeah, these sound like wonderful people.
This is just
Yeah, I
becoming a
mean,
trend in every.
well, this article is not even saying it as like these people are shit. They're saying it as like this is good, right? There's that air to the article of like these people are reacting because Trump's so bad. Whereas starting fires and assaulting people because they disagree with your opinion should never be looked at as a good thing.
Well,
Yeah.
no, they premised it with they got stabbed.
Yeah, by neo-Nazis.
Yeah, but still got stabbed, right? So they're still the good guys. Poor them for getting stabbed by neo Nazis. Although I don't remember there being neo Nazis there. Although I wasn't there, so I wouldn't know.
Well, I don't even remember what happened in California State Capitol.
Let's go
I
down to
don't
the
even
vote.
remember the news about that.
Nothing happened.
Well, that's what it's talking about in
They were
the
interviewing
California State
people.
Capitol in June.
Nothing happened.
No, it says
Trump-
that
Trump
they
got
were fighting
elected?
neo-Nazis.
Trump
Not
got
in
elected.
June. That's November. You're way
Oh.
off.
Guys,
Do you
what
need a
month
calendar?
is this? I don't know what month it is. What month is it?
February.
It's February. Holy shit! It's February, guys.
Yeah. So June
Fuck.
does not come in between November and February.
So are people right when they're telling me that the winter's almost over?
Nope, they're not.
It's gonna be 10 degrees outside tomorrow.
You stupid Canadians with your stupid thermometers. Fucking Celsius.
You guys are the only country in the world who have your own version.
And it makes sense. It makes sense.
0 means cold, a negative means even colder, positive means warmer.
How does okay? Positive means warmer, but okay. So what's the difference between 7 and 10?
Very little, actually.
Very little.
Okay. What about 7 and 15?
Quite a bit.
The weather is doubly warm.
Right. Okay. What it's saying is like 7 to 15 here. It's like that's fucking cold, right? You're like
Yes.
40. Okay, I need to be a little warm, but not too warm.
Look. At 7,
Right.
you could still wear a hoodie and be outside. At 15, you don't need a hoodie anymore. You can run
Yeah.
around with the
Yeah, I
t-shirt.
was saying that's a very small difference. Where I'm like, it's 60 out. It's in
Yeah,
the
but, like,
60s. It
0
doesn't
is
matter
when water
exactly
freezes.
what
I
it
know
is
what
outside.
60 means to you. Yeah,
Why
we
does-
know
why-
what
why
No,
does-
this is
why-
what, that's
hold
what
on.
I'm saying.
Why does
From-
water
from
freeze at
fucking
32 for
60
you people?
From 60 to 69
water-
degrees, right? All I have
I
to
don't
say is it's
understand.
in the 60s. So it doesn't matter how much it moves within there, it's still relatively around there. Like
Okay, so
comfortable
it's
for the human
within the
body is about
10s, it's
68
within the
degrees.
20s, that's how it is, and it's within the negatives. From
Okay,
10
if
to
it's within the
15 is
10s,
about,
from 10 to 20,
yeah,
that's
no,
a big difference
yeah.
for you. 10 to
Yeah.
20 is not a big difference for me. So if I say 20s, okay, that's easy. Like,
Okay.
It's like it's 12.
But
It's
I don't want to
13.
read the chart that says tomorrow the weather will be from 56 to 107.
That's not what it says.
Sometimes.
No, definitely not. If it was that drastic, you'd be having like super volcano or super tornadoes and like fucking off the charts and shit.
You guys have those all the time.
Not super tornadoes.
Okay, well, I'm sure you guys will event some super tornadoes sometime soon.
Yeah,
Use them
we don't
against
have
them.
that kind of drastic temperature change. Right, like it's 58 degrees, right? So I can say it's about 60. And
Okay.
that's easy, right? But if you did
Okay,
like
so when it's, like,
2-degree
8
rounding
degrees,
in
you
yours,
say-
that makes a difference.
No, like
A
there's
lot.
not that much difference between 8 and 10 degrees. Even 8, like 10 to
Okay,
15
tw-
is not
10
that
to-
different. But like 10 to
Sure it
20
is.
is.
Sure it is.
No, it's not. 10 to 15 is about how much it drops from morning to afternoon. We go from like 3 degrees in the morning to 10, 11
Yeah,
degrees in
see,
the
that's a
afternoon.
10-degree difference.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then it goes
in
back to
Fahrenheit.
like 3 at night.
All right, yeah, see,
Anyway.
three is fucking freezing.
Yeah.
Like 32 and below is freezing.
No, for us 0 and below is freezing.
I know.
I think that makes more sense.
32 is
Water
freezing,
freezes at 0, water boils at 100. It's a perfect system.
but for water, but I'm not water. I'm
Yes,
a
you
human.
are. You're mostly water.
No, I'm made of
Yes, you're
mostly
mostly
water, but I
made
am a
of water.
human. I
Will
am
you die
not
at 0?
water. I
Will
am
you die at 0?
made of water. No,
If you stay out at 0,
I
for
will
2
not
months, you will
freeze
die.
and I will not die. No, I will not.
Okay, fine. I guess you have the experience of being out there in 0. What about 100?
No, you can be out in 100 and you won't die. I won't begin to boil if it's 100 degrees outside.
100
Slowly.
is what, like 25 here?
What?
What's
No.
100 Fahrenheit?
You're doing it backwards.
What's
Yeah.
like a really hot day?
For me,
Yeah.
um, hottest I've ever been in is 130, and that's pretty uncomfortable. If you
So
stay
that's like
outside long
30
enough, you
degrees
could probably
probably.
die.
Okay.
Let's see. In Celsius, that is 54 degrees.
Oh shit. No, we don't get up to 54 degrees. The hottest it
Right.
gets here is like 30.
Yes, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
That's not true. It was like 46 a few summers
No,
ago.
it wasn't.
Yes, it was. We had
I
look,
I have
homeless
checked
people
the weather
died in the
every single
street.
day of my life for the past ever, and I have never seen the number 46 on there.
I will show you number 46. I fucking stained a
I've
desk
Yeah,
and
checked
that's
spent
only like that's only like 115. Yeah, that happens.
that happens in
In
all.
not in
southern Canada,
Canada.
that happens from time to time.
Okay, well, I
In the
haven't.
central area of Canada, if you're not on one of the lakes, it can happen.
Okay, well, it hasn't
Very
happened on
rarely, but it
Toronto.
does.
The Weather Network has never posted those numbers.
They
Anyway,
literally had warnings out. Homeless people died from dehydration.
homeless people die from everything.
True. We have old people die every summer.
Guys, did you know that
They don't have AC. They just fucking die.
guys, did you know that the common flu kills 35,000 Americans a year?
1,000? No, I don't know. What's that?
35,000 Americans a year.
I think it's like
I
35.
read it in Huffington Post a few years ago.
Oh, yeah. See, no. Yeah. Yeah, see, the highest temperature ever recorded at Pearson, I'm assuming that's near Toronto because I
Yeah,
searched
yeah, that's down
Toronto,
the street.
Yeah.
was 38.3 degrees Celsius. The highest recorded.
I feel like in the city though it's warm. It's usually colder than what it is at Pearson because we have the water bias.
Yeah,
I
the
don't
water
know.
helps maintain your local temperature a little bit better. Yeah, the was it
We
in
have Lake Ontario,
2004
so
in St. Albans, Manitoba, it got 44 degrees Celsius.
yeah, okay, maybe in fucking Manitoba.
Yeah.
I don't know. Weather makes no sense
Uh,
here.
the hottest ever was 45 degrees Celsius in 1937
How many?
in
In
Yellowgrass, Saskatchewan.
That's weird.
45 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So can you
Good
get to
times.
the part
So
of
it can
the
get that hot.
article where
No, because I read at my own fucking pace.
Just
They
like
blame
the
Milo
school
for
system
this?
intended.
And then scroll down to the major quote that's written nice and bold.
They
I go to
represented
the
a small
base.
percentage of the 1,000 mostly nonviolent demonstrators who went to Berkeley to protest the speech by controversial Breitbart columnist and conservative writer Milo Yiannopoulos, but they dominated the outcome. I do appreciate how they put controversial Breitbart communist and conservative writer rather than what was the other article last week? What did they
Oh,
fucking call him?
yeah, they call
Neo-Nazi and right-wing nationalist or something like
Yeah.
that.
yeah,
White
right wing
supremacist.
nationalist. Oh
And
god.
white
So
supremacist.
I appreciate that you called him a columnist and a fucking writer.
No, also, but not a gay guy, not a Jew, none of that.
Well, that's good.
A presumed
It's
man.
good. We don't play identity politics, Siggy. Drop the feminism, all right? We don't care what he is. We just find it funny when they call him a white nationalist when he's not white or a nationalist. Well, I mean, I guess he's kind of a nationalist, but
But he's British, so what does that say?
yeah, right. He's a nationalist for the United States, and he's not even from here. So I don't know if you can really hold that against him. Kind of like the outside observer probably has a better view. Anyways, the university had been determined to allow the event in the name of free speech, which I commend them
No
for
big
that
deal.
because a lot of universities have been actively trying to shut down these things, and I know Berkeley is a very very left leaning place. So, like was it AIU, right?
Yeah.
He went to Berkeley, right? And he was like one of the most right wing people there, and he's definitely not right wing. Anybody who
AIU?
watches him can tell you. Yeah.
Are we talking about atheism? Atheism is unstoppable.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we're not supposed to mention him because apparently every time you mention him in a negative light, you get a lot of downvotes.
How is that negative? I said compared to Berkeley, he was really right wing there, but he's far from right wing. I don't see where the negativity is.
Wasn't he right?
No, he's not right wing. Not even in the slightest. He was a Hillary supporter. That's how
Really?
far left he is. He was pro-Hillary. But at the Berkeley campus, he was very conservative. That should put it in perspective for people. The protests earned rebukes from students, university administrators, and Trump. Oh, I didn't see too many students other than the ones who wanted to go to the speech, but they were kind of busy not getting the shit beat out of them. But I imagine that there were some other ones, right? The angry vice chancellor called the melee an unprecedented invasion of an otherwise peaceful protest. But some leaders of the campus protest called it a smashing success. It wasn't just people dressed in black who were acting militantly, and everyone else is peace-loving Berkeley hippies, said Yvette Falarka, a political organizer of By Any Means Necessary. Really? The name of her organization is By Any Means Necessary. Holy fuck. An immigration and affirmative action coalition. Oh, it's great. Fucking, it's the Black Panthers, but diversified. That seeks to build a mass militant movement.
Well, wait,
Right?
wait, wait.
So
But
it's Black Panthers,
you
but
can be a
everybody who's
Muslim
not white is invited.
regardless of what race you are.
Would do what?
You can be a Muslim regardless of what race you are.
I don't think Yvette is a Muslim.
But Black Panthers were.
Yeah, but I'm saying this is a diversified Black Panthers.
Right, but this,
So
you
they've
don't
opened
have
it.
to
They've
be.
opened it up to everybody, just so long as you're not white.
Oh,
As long as you're willing to burn down and assault burn down white people's property and assault them, you're welcome by any means necessary.
how's that going to achieve anything?
It doesn't. That's why they're minorities. Anyways, everyone cheered when those barricades were dismantled. Everyone was there with us in political agreement of the necessity of shutting it down, whatever it was going to take. It shows we have the power, Falarka said. I thought it was quite stunning. The term black bloc was used to describe the tight wedges of black-clad protesters in helmets and masks who appeared in street demonstrations in Germany in the 1970s, confounding efforts to single out, identify, and prosecute individuals.
What?
What exactly were they protesting in Germany in the 1970s?
What were they protesting in Germany?
Was it communism?
Let's look it up.
Are we actually going to look for citations?
This article doesn't have citations. Be serious.
Anti-nuclear organizing student protests. Have a look at the 1970s Germany.
Make sure you're looking at something that's older than a month. All right. Because if you're gonna look at something, you can't look at something that was written after the Berkeley protests, where they try to make it sound like it was the greatest thing ever.
I can't see when this was written.
Wow, your internet sucks. Fucking
March
Canada must.
4th, 2016.
I got a 2012 one.
Okay.
That one will probably be the most unbiased towards making it sound like the protesters are right all the time. Let's see. Slowly but surely, the message is getting out that Black Bloc is a tactic and not an entity. We've been waging a similar media campaign on anarchism. Where to go? Let's see. Many people know that Black Bloc began in the late 1970s in Germany and the Netherlands. Wikipedia is their citation. Great. In June 1980, the German police forcefully evicted the Free Republic of Wendelen, an anti-nuclear protest camp in Gorleben-Wendelen. This attack on 5,000 peaceful protesters led many former pacifists to become willing to use violent methods. By December 1980, the Berlin city government organized an escalating cycle of mass arrests, followed by other local authorities across West Germany. The squatters resisted by opening new squats as the old ones were evicted. Following the mass arrest of squatters in Freiburg, demonstrations were held in their support in many German cities. The day was dubbed Black Friday, following a demonstration in Berlin in which between 15,000 and 20,000 people took to the streets and destroyed an expensive shopping area. The tactic of wearing identical black clothes and masks meant that the Autonomen were better able to resist the police and elude identification. The German media labeled them Der Schwarzblock, the Black Bloc. So basically, what does this say? Peaceful protester. What's it? They were attacked. Right. That's how it's written. So in other words, they were told, "Hey, motherfuckers, you don't own this land. Get the fuck out of here." So they were the hippies, before communism took over the hippie movement.
Okay.
So that's what I'm getting from this. So like Greenpeace back when it actually had a point.
Yeah.
Like if you look at Greenpeace now, they're fucking idiots.
Yeah, they sound like environmentalists, to be honest.
That's what Greenpeace
They are.
was.
No, yeah,
Um,
these guys too.
well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They were the same type of people. Like here in the United States and probably in Canada and Western Europe as well, we had hippie communes, but they all collapsed. They were all like socialist communes about how great it was. Live from the earth, peace, love, dope, all that faggoty hippie bullshit. But a lot of people wanted to do that, but they also were like, I have a job and bills to pay. So during the week they'd go home and be normal fucking people, and then they would come and be hippies on the weekend in the fucking hippie communes, and the socialist system collapsed because they couldn't. They didn't have the working force needed to maintain themselves, which is where communism with the fences and the machine guns pointed in. That's where it comes in.
Mm.
That's why communism is superior to socialism because socialism without force cannot stand very long at all.
Hmm.
Communism at least can get a couple decades.
Of murder.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, you got to prove that you're willing to use the machine guns, or people are gonna keep trying to get through the fence, right?
Right. Unless
Let's
you
see.
build a wall.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They built a fence and they turned machine guns in on the people. It's like if you try to jump this fence, we'll fucking shoot you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But they got to prove that they're willing to shoot people first.
That's no
So
problem.
you gun down some socialists in the streets, and ta-da, you're communist. That's all it takes. I go through the Bay Area, and there are people sleeping in the doorways of $1 million condos that are empty. Is that not violent?
No.
No, it is not.
They can go
Or
sleep
unless
somewhere
you're
else.
saying that these people squatting on someone else's private property is violent, then I might be inclined to agree with you. And the cops should go and beat the shit out of them for fucking squatting on someone else's land. Of course, here in Missouri, we could just hang them. That's right. If you trespass on my property, I have the legal right to hang you.
All right. Good to know. Visit
I'm lazy.
visiting will
I'll
be.
just shoot you. I'm just gonna let you know. I'm lazy. All right. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna go
Merlin's
make a
bringing
noose.
up a good point that back in the 60s, Berkeley was where they used to rally for free speech. It's really ironic that
It
they're
was.
shutting it down now.
Yeah. The Democrats and the communists, they completely took over the whole hippie movement, and that's what you have now. Like this is the result of them basically raping the hippie movement.
Yeah.
Because that's who was being protested against were the Democrats, and the Democrats took that shit over and just like the Borg and fucking assimilated them.
Yeah, they're the ones. I posted it on Facebook and some of my friends got upset with this of
I
how
bet.
Bill Clinton was using literally the same language about illegal immigration that Trump did
Well, you want to know
during
what's
his
really funny?
campaign. And
If you
everyone
look
gave him
at
a standing ovation for it. And then they're
yeah,
like, why are you posting something that's in the past? How is this relevant? I'm like, well, if you're wondering why people
you
would
mean
have
you
the
mean you
idea
people who
that
were
there's like,
supporting his fucking wife? How is this relevant?
oh my God. Yeah. Like
6 months
that was
ago,
in the
you were
past. He's not
supporting his wife.
it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to act on it. I'm like, then why would Americans think that it's a problem? Where or
This
where
is
would
no.
Americans
See,
get the
this is the only
idea?
response when they're like, "That was in the past. Why bring it up?" Say, "So was slavery. Why bring it up?" And see what they say to that. You'll
Yeah,
probably be
actually.
blocked and unfriended, but
Yeah.
Well, what's
Just
that?
saying.
What's that picture we keep posting up?
Oh,
The fucking
2013 crime statistics are old and outdated. They don't reflect the current year.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And then, and then slavery's still relevant, and I'm oppressed by white people.
It's the cognitive dissonance computer. It's my favorite meme on the
Yeah,
internet.
that one's pretty good.
Your
In
name
fact,
is not PewDiePie. You're a
I'm going
fucking
to go.
liar, Inacio. Inacio. Sorry, haven't been speaking to Spanish
Oh shit!
people.
It's Nakio.
Inacio. Fuck. Now I totally lost my train of thought here. Oh, I was saying it's like the Democrat. Okay, so like Bill Clinton, he was saying that George W. Bush actually gave amnesty to illegal immigrants. Like he was all about the pathway to citizenship. And he's like, we'll get rid of the criminals, but the people who aren't doing criminal shit, who are actually doing things, who are being productive members, but they're here illegally, let's find a pathway to citizenship. and people
Mm-hmm.
criticized him for that, saying that he wanted cheap fucking labor.
Huh.
And now it's like, hey, well then fine, no fucking pathway to citizenship. Build a fucking wall. And they're like, now you're just racist. What the fuck? You can't fucking win if you're a Republican. There's no winning, no matter what you're whatever type of compromise you tried to make.
Yeah, well, we were talking about the Bill Maher clip the other day with Pierce Morgan, and he's like referencing how like Bush was so reasonable compared to
He
Trump, and it's like,
was.
then why did you shit on him so much? Like, I don't understand. You created this. You guys are responsible.
See, I've said it before. I was like, this is why I was pro-Trump, because everyone knows I'm pro-Bush. I like Bush. I like what he did. He did make mistakes, because every fucking human being on the planet does. I liked him, but that wasn't good enough for you motherfuckers. So have a Trump. See how you fucking like that. Maybe
Okay,
we'll
but
get
what if
Jeb.
someone says the same thing about Obama? Obama made mistakes, but
Obama did make mistakes. Pretty much 8 years of fucking mistakes. That's the problem. No, like, no. Okay, so when you look at Bush things and the things that he tried to do, there were some mistakes. But when you look at Obama's, like, he consciously made decisions to do bad things.
Like murder American citizens through
Murder
drone
American
strikes.
citizens without due process. Drop bombs on fucking funerals and weddings in foreign countries because fuck it, they're not Americans. And then shit all over Americans because they're white.
yeah.
I mean, like, the shit that he did was way worse.
Yeah, it's really interesting how the first black president happens, and then this is the end of race relations. And yeah,
Having the verse.
Yeah, I'm not saying he was a bad president, but you
But
would
what
think the
the
first
fuck?
black president would, stop the
Yeah.
racism, not create
and
more
it's
racism.
only gone worse.
I'm not saying there's more racists out there. I'm just saying.
No, just
But
the
hey,
media loves to
Hey,
talk about
in the lighter side, the KKK has diversified, so there is something. Well, I will attribute that to Obama.
Have they diversified?
Because
How so?
well, no, this is what I think. Because they're allowing blacks, gays, and Jews into the KKK now.
Are they?
And this
Huh.
is where I'm coming from here. They see like Ben Shapiro and him criticizing Obama. Then they see Milo and he's criticizing him. Then they see people like Tommy Sotomayor. I'm like,
So
you know
they're
what?
more
Maybe we were
open-minded.
wrong. Maybe they're not all the same. Maybe there are people who are other races that we could get along with. These are our kind of people. And so now they've opened ranks.
No, the Chris Ray Gunn video that I was talking about he did on PewDiePie, he was talking about the website that is PewDiePie's #1 favorite like fan
Yeah,
site,
the
and how
Stormfront,
so
the
they
Storm
changed
Fags.
it. They changed it
Yeah.
and to troll, and they said #1 Washington Post fan site.
I-
And it's like
it's
the
funny 'cause
KKK has
Those
more
are
of a sense of
actually the
humor right now.
neo-Nazis. No, those are the
I know.
neo-Nazis. That's not the KKK. How fucking dare
Sorry,
you?
the neo-Nazis,
Know your
I'm
racist
sorry.
organizations. All right, like do not confuse Aryan Brotherhood with Aryan Nation. That can get you killed in some places. All right,
Oh God.
you don't want to
Can't
fuck up
even
your
keep
white
track of
supremacists.
all these groups.
I know, right? At least it's easy because you're like Black Lives Matter, and for the most part, I mean, you got what the Hoteps, the pro-blacks, and then some other little, the new Black Panthers, but
That's the thing. They keep trying to collectivize, but everybody's too much of a spoiled individual brat about like
I know.
my needs and my wants. So they keep creating subgroups within subgroups within
See, well, no. See, here's the thing, right? A lot of those groups, Black Lives Matter, tried to umbrella them all together. Here's the problem: none of them read Mao's book. Mao actually wrote a book about how he overthrew the Chinese government, and he gave basically a step-by-step instruction. Now, his opening disclaimer says this won't work everywhere. This was unique for China, but if you're smart enough, you can extrapolate some things that will work. And uniting your group under a loose banner that everybody can begrudgingly join underneath is what you need to do. But none of them want to do that. They all have
hold on.
very
Yeah, but
specific
that is,
intersectional things.
Right,
Wait,
but this is
wait, guys. They tried it that way though. They tried it with fucking Occupy Wall Street. They said we are the 99%. Period. And then they took
but Occupy Wall Street was just a ripoff.
They took
of the Tea Party protest.
I know, but they took Mao's thing a bit too lightly. They made it too loose, too broad. Now there was no meaning behind it. No
the collapse of Occupy Wall Street was the fucking the Antifa fags when they showed up, and then they started pissing everybody off, and then people started like the businesses were like, okay, it's a minor inconvenience. Then these people came, started yelling at the business owners and pissing on fucking doors and trashing everything. Then people were like, okay, these motherfuckers got to go. Right, because it was a peaceful protest. They were a little bit dirty, but
Oh, really?
No,
I didn't
not
hear
a, not a
anything about
violent
this.
Antifa, but these people came out and they were started talking about all the fucking fucking Antifa fucking rhetoric shit. They were like they started joining up with the protest. They were pissing off other protesters. They were fucking peeing all over shit. They were just basically causing problems. And finally, it pissed off the local community that they were fucking occupying. And now they're like, yeah, these people have to go. All those videos you saw of like the stupid fucking Occupy people,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
all those people were people that showed up later.
Of course, of course. Those are the people that try to unify everybody. Those are the people who are like, well, we would prefer to have our fucking pronouns be fucking comrades. Do you remember those motherfuckers? They had a thing on. It wasn't John Oliver back then. It was what's the other fucking British? No, not British. What's the other guys? Stephen Colbert. They were Stephen Colbert did the whole thing with them, and there was a bunch of hipsters, and they're like, well,
Yeah, those were
we
the
don't refer.
Antifa fags who showed up and started
No,
trying to take everything over.
no, no, they were the hipster idiots. They were like, "Oh yeah, we prefer not to. We have no hierarchy in our system,
Yeah,
and we
that's
prefer to be
Antifa. That's
refer."
how Antifa fucking rolls right there.
Is that Antifa?
Yeah,
Oh man, now I don't even know what
like the
Antifa is.
Antifa are the anti-fascists who just like, oh, nothing should be in control. They're basically a different way of saying anarchists, or a slightly different breed than your leftist anarchists, right? But if you looked at your little political spectrum, they're still going to be in that same area with them.
Right, right.
But they showed up and they took the fucking Occupy Wall Street, and it was basically like, fuck all rich people, right? And then every time people would ask, like, go out there to interview them to ask them about their protest, they'd always find the Antifa guys, because they're the idiots who had no idea what the fuck they were doing. They were just fucking unemployed fucking losers. And they were pissing everybody off. They were pissing off the other protesters, and they were pissing off all the local businesses and the patrons. And that's when they fucking decided they were going to start breaking up the Occupy Wall Street movement.
Oh.
Yeah, but just search Occupy Wall Street and Antifa. You get a bunch of results
Well,
about it.
it's
Because people were bitching about it that were actually organizing the protest, because they came in and just took the shit over.
well, that's what happens when you have a loose fucking movement with no organizers. People just show up to complain, and then people.
Well, no, because
absolutely
the
always
Tea
show up.
Party, the Tea Party eventually fucking left too. Like the Occupy Wall Street, they weren't going to get anywhere. Tea Party had done it like 2 years before that.
Yeah.
They didn't get anywhere, and then the Antifa came there and just pissed them off, and that's where all of your anti-Occupy Wall Street rhetoric comes from, is when those fucking people showed up.
Are they the ones who would do the handshake, like the wiggle your hands in the air and signs and snapping because plops are triggering, and have like some sign language and use the voices to microphone themselves?
What?
In Occupy Wall Street, they would instead of clapping, because clapping is triggering, they would shake their hands in the
They
air.
didn't call it triggering then.
Yeah. Well,
But no, that was the whole point. It's the start of the stupid SJW fucking retardation.
And then they did the microphones because they didn't have microphones, so people would relay the message and spread it down the crowd and
yeah,
repeat
that's an
whatever.
Antifa thing.
So dumb.
The fucking telephone thing that you did in kindergarten where it always got fucked up, that's an Antifa thing.
Yeah.
I've seen fucking an interview where they were talking about that. Like, that's one of their fucking mainstays of how to do things there. When they do their fucking protests. God, I fucking hate them so much. Well, okay, if you just look at the spectrum, like, the further left you are, whether you're up or down, I just start despising you more and more the further left you go. Just gonna throw that out there.
We should separate people from their politics.
Well, here's the thing: is the Antifa is far left and down, and then your fucking feminazis and your globalists are far left and up. So the further left you go, nothing that you're, whether you're an anarchist or you're a fucking authoritarian, it doesn't really make a difference. Well, I'm sorry, it's libertarian now if you're fucking at the bottom, because apparently anarchist is a bad word now. But the bottom is anarchist. Now they call it libertarian, which is why you have libertarians with like completely different views. But for the most part, if you're all the way down or you're all the way up, you're bad too. It's pretty much center far right. That's
guys. As long as you're not center far right. No,
yeah,
no
center
extremism.
far right.
Zero extremism. We need.
It isn't extremism. It's not extreme.
No, guys, come on. We know we need a little bit of socialism and a little bit of right wingism. We need a little bit of everything to have a proper fucking functional society.
Yeah, the suicides are supposed to balance each other out, not have bits.
Well, here, this is all I want. What is far right?
I don't know.
Exactly. Nobody
What's
knows.
far left?
Well, far left
It's
are clearly
communism.
the pro pedophilia people that you hate and despise so much. Right, that's where your communists are. That's where your globalists are. That's where your violent anarchists who just want to burn everything down, that want to watch the world burn. That's your far left,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, what is the opposite of being pro pedophile? Being anti pedophile?
Mm-hmm.
Being
Mm-hmm.
child rape is fucking
No,
bad and
okay,
a horrible
no,
thing?
the
That
far
doesn't sound
left is
so
not.
bad, does it?
That's like the fringe, like someone who sees themselves as
Far
on
left is fringe, would it not be?
Yes.
the. Okay.
Right? So I say the far right, they're like, oh, they're white nationalists. Like, no, like, why would you call the alt right white nationalists and then say the far right is also white nationalists? Why would they go and become alt right if that was the home for white nationalists? Because it isn't.
Yeah.
We like social conservatism is not a good thing, but that's your Christian conservatives, right? Your Muslim conservatives. That's where they would fall in, right? Which
Okay,
are
but
authoritarians.
I feel like the very very conservative people are like the ones who see people as strong and weak and kind of
Well, some people are strong and some people are weak.
I don't know.
We're not all created the same. I mean, you might not know this, but none of us compare to Shaquille O'Neal when it comes to height or penis size or foot size. We
Wait,
just
how do you
don't.
know about this penis size?
Look at the fucking dude. He's like 8 foot tall, right? He's got like a foot long dick. I guarantee it. Have you not seen it like playing basketball and he like does his little hop? The whole fucking thing comes up and slaps the ground. Sorry, we don't compare to him. We're not going to.
Okay, fair enough.
Right? We're not all the same, and some people are weaker than others. Some people have skills in some things that other people just don't.
Some
Right?
Okay,
people are
Like I
but
could
smart.
teach both. I
it's
could
this
teach
idea
both of
that
you the same
everybody
exact
deserves what
thing,
they can get.
exactly the same, and one of you could get it and be fucking great at it. The other one won't. It's just a fact that we're different. Doesn't make anybody any less or any more than anyone else. You're just different. You're good at
Yeah,
some things and bad at
but
others.
that's what they're saying. Like it's that
The far
yes,
right
they're gonna
doesn't say
be
that.
there's gonna be people who are different, but you still value human beings as human beings and have some
Yes.
Okay,
sort of
no one
innate.
says not to value human
But
beings as human
Right.
beings.
The
but
left
people will
does.
say like
The
no,
left
but
does.
there's
That's true. That's
Eugenics.
true.
right, but the idea of like you deserve what you get, and if bad things happen to you, it's because you kind of deserved it, and
Who
it's your
said
own
that?
choice. That's how
Me,
that's how the
me, this guy. This guy says that.
that's how the left
The
portray
far right.
sees the far right
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Okay. So
as like
here's
they don't
yes,
care
you are the
about
author
people,
of
they
your
don't
own
care.
destiny. No, you are the author of your own destiny. Right. The where you end up in life is a culmination of the decisions you make throughout your life. And it
Not
sucks because if you have
necessarily.
shit parents, you grow up in a shit household, it's a lot harder to know what the right decision is. But nevertheless, you can trace back through all the decisions. Yes, you can say, okay, well, they made bad decisions because they had shit parents, but they still made those decisions. No one is discrediting the input of the parents and how they are the reason, but
Right,
nevertheless,
but we
those decisions you
understand that
make still
certain
affect your life.
okay, but we understand that on a whole, certain conditions lead to certain outcomes, and therefore
On
it's about
aggregate, yeah.
yeah. So it's about trying to address those conditions, and so
That's not what the
then
left wants to do. That's what the right wants to do. The right says
I
we need to
think
do
that's what
something
the
about
left
single
wants.
motherhood, and the left says we'll give them welfare. And we're like, that's probably not going to fix it. And then, and fucking decades, it hasn't fixed the problem. Yet we're the bad guys because we want to do something about it. Well, they just want to give them money because poor them. But it's the decisions they made. Help them make better decisions.
You
Help the
can,
children
But
who are
that's a
the
lot
product
of
of fucking shit homes make better decisions so they can have a
yeah.
better life. So when they have kids, their kids will have a better life. And we won't have to worry about their kids in the next generation. The left is, oh, yeah, none of it's your fault. It's the white man's fault. It's the rich people's fault. It's the government's fault.
Okay, you're painting the left with a pretty big brush because there's a lot of people, like for example, there's people who are just trying to make sure that everybody gets access. Well, in Canada, because we have the healthcare system, make sure that everybody gets equal access to healthcare. Like, make
Right,
sure
but see,
that
here's the thing: you're saying that the right doesn't want to do that.
okay. It seems
No,
like
no
they
one,
don't because it
no
seems
one
like
is. No,
they
they're
want to
saying
cut
that
all the
I should
social
not have to
programs that
pay.
do that.
Yes, because you're saying that me as an individual, like with Obamacare, me as an individual, I have to pay money to health insurance or be fined by my government because somebody else wants health insurance.
Yeah,
It's
no,
not my
and yeah,
my my
that's
obligation. It's my financial strain. This is something that this is a burden the government put on me because of somebody else. That is not fair to me.
Mhm.
No matter how
Yeah.
bad their situation is, just like you can't force me to donate my organs to somebody else, right?
Sure, you can.
But apparently they can rip the wallet out of my pocket and take my money one way or the other.
And I don't understand why they have to force you. Like, why does it take Trump for people to start donating to Planned Parenthood? Like, if you think
That is
Planned
my
Parenthood
point. The
is
right
something
actually
so
donates money. They're the most
right,
charitable group of
yeah,
people.
yeah,
They
studies
believe
actually have
that people
shown
do
that.
have bad shit happens, right? That is outside of anybody's control. And that is a fact. But how you react to it and how you overcome it, there's a completely different
That's
view
up
from the
to
left or
you.
the right. The left
Okay.
looks at it like, look at how all the people that we complain about all the time, all the SJWs, their whole narrative is they're being oppressed. It's the patriarchy, it's white supremacy, right? You have privilege and all this other shit. The right saying, no, bad shit just happens. That's just the way the world works. You have to overcome it.
That's not what it feels like. I don't know how to.
Exactly, because you let the left push the narrative. Like all
No,
the
but I
negative
don't.
things you know about
I
Bush came
see.
from the media,
Okay,
and the
but
media
like
is run by the left.
but my exposure to people who are like I on a day to day interact with people who I would identify as liberal, and they're not saying they're not talking about the patriarchy and having colored hair and doing all
I'm okay.
this.
See, you're taking.
They're
I'm saying that same concept. I'm not saying they're blaming the patriarchy or they're blaming white supremacists, but I'm saying they're removing the
yeah, but
burden of
yeah,
blame from the individual. So then, why would if I told you, right, and you actually listened, like, okay, these things were because of these bad decisions. How can we make better decisions? And we worked that way, right? But the narrative on the left is, oh, that sucks. That's so horrible. You must have bad luck. That's not fair. It's always about how
yeah,
unfair things are. Yes,
okay,
life is unfair. The right's narrative is life is unfair. Get over it and do something with yourself.
yeah.
The left's narrative is not that. Like there are people who want to help, but a lot of it is not that. Like that's not the
Yeah, and a lot of it
overarching
is
narrative.
also band-aid help. Like none of it is actually
Because
resolving the
you
issue.
don't want to confuse being socially liberal, because
Yeah.
an a statesman, a United States conservative, right, a true conservative is going to be a social liberal, right? The social liberal views of the individual has the right to do whatever they want so long as they're not doing it to somebody else against their will. That's the view because that's what our country is founded on. So we
And I
want to
mean, yeah,
conserve
no,
that value.
they're bringing the concept of white privilege into everything. Like I couldn't have a lecture where my immigrant cousin from Iran who is here sitting in like a U of T Masters of Physiotherapy program and they're teaching her about intersectionality and she's like, "What the fuck is this shit?" Like
Right. See, that's why I have a lot more respect for third world shithole citizens. Right, regardless of their views on most things, like in Africa, I've always had this like fascination with Africa. I'm like, life sucks there. These people, like some people, have to walk miles to get fresh water, which it isn't even really fresh. Like the toilet water that I have in my house is better than the water that they're walking a mile to go get for themselves, just because it's better than what they have in their immediate area. It's like
yeah.
these are the hardships that people are going through, and then you hear people who, like, we have the fattest poor people in the world complaining about they don't have enough. Like it seems like maybe if you didn't eat so much, you could probably have a little bit more to go around. Just saying, it's an observation.
But I do think though that a lot of what the SJWs are doing is it's not a consequence of necessarily collectivism and collective thoughts. It's the opposite of that. It's having no actual sense of belonging to where you're from and thinking about how you're an individual and how you're special and how you're different and you need to be, referred to with the right pronoun and the right name and how you get offended. It is a consequence of an individualistic lifestyle and not
But
having any kind of allegiance. And that's how feminism gets in. It sucks you in by but in the cultist
Making you
way.
feel special.
It's the bait and switch. It's the bait and switch.
Yeah.
Right? Because the whole thing is collectivism. What do they do to you when you start preaching something different than the accepted gospel?
They kick you
You
out.
get ostracized, you get kicked out, you get fucking vilified, right? You have to be a part of the group thing. So everyone's an individual, but every individual has to think this way. Right? The far right, center far right, not authoritarian or anarcho fucking capitalist weirdos, are you are an individual, so think and believe what you want, just don't fuck with me. Then we'll have a problem. Right? So if you want to sit at home and fucking watch internet porn and masturbate all day and never have a fucking job, so long as I don't have to pay for your lifestyle, I
No,
don't give a
the
fuck.
far
I
right
don't
for
care
a
what you
long
do.
time was what the far right, the Fox News was for a long time was video games call violence. We should like
Yes,
make
but here's the
abortion
thing is
illegal.
right,
Um,
okay, abortion should be illegal.
no, it
We've had this
shouldn't.
discussion.
Okay. Well, there's
We've had
clearly
this
lots of
discussion.
people who disagree
No.
with that. So I
Here,
don't think
you're
the government should be telling
it's
anyone what
actually
to do with their
divided.
bodies.
It's a half and half divide, but okay.
Okay.
Um
So people who want them
there's
should get
the
them, and people who
okay.
don't shouldn't. It's really that simple. But I don't want to get into
Well, yeah,
abortion
people who
tonight.
want to kill Jews should kill Jews. People who don't shouldn't. I know, I got it.
No, that's not the same.
Anyways, the Fox News, the games create violence, was actually from university studies. That's where they got this information. That information
'cause
was
the
then
university
debunked, and
studies
Fox News
debunked
dropped
them.
it. Fox News didn't create those studies. They went off those studies and created broadcasts about it that other people were saying. It wasn't some narrative that they made up, like news likes to do today.
Yeah.
Right, so you're basically saying that Fox News was far right,
And
which
that
it
like
never
they
was,
were the
because it's
anti-porn people. They were the anti like
yeah, but there's actual more and more studies are coming out about how they're kind of right about that. But I'm saying you as an individual, you have the right because okay, Fox News as a very Christian conservative fucking cat, I'm gonna murder you. She keeps knocking shit off my shelf.
nice.
That's what
The
cats do.
the Christian conservatives, those are not far right center people. Those are authoritarians who believe that fucking Jesus saves and walks on water and performs miracles, and if you don't follow Jesus, then you should be burned at the stake because you're a witch. That's those people. That's a different group of people.
Well, I
Right?
sent you an article today about how the left thinks of conservatives or their
Right.
response to
Well, this
conservatives.
is what the left has been doing for about 3 decades now, is taking the right and saying it's only the Christians. So if you're not Christian, you can't be right. Don't be right because everything that a Christian conservative says, that's what they take and say that's the whole right. And then they've got you have Republicans who that's what they pander to. Right? But then you have people like Ben Shapiro, right? Would you say his ideas are bad and evil, closed-minded, bigotry,
No.
and authoritarian? No, but he's pretty far right. Like if you sat down and compared your views to his views, he's really far right.
I actually think maybe I'm far right because I don't disagree with very much he says. Because he sat on Dave Rubin's show and says, I'm against gay marriage, but I'll fight for your right to do it. It's none of my business. You
Well,
should be
and
able
that's what I'm
to.
saying. A central far right. We have our personal views about things, but you're an individual who gets to make your decisions of what you want to do individually. And so long as you're not trying to force it on anyone else, it doesn't fucking matter what
Right.
you're doing. Right?
But see, this is the thing. They're trying to convince you that you are harming. And this is the whole where it leads into words being violence. And she gets to that line of like how everything is violence. Go into the quote that's bolded. I go through the Bay Area and there are people sleeping in doorways of $1 million condos that are empty. Is that not violence?
Right. Well, this is what I'm saying. That's the difference between the left and the right. Like, yeah, that
I know,
sucks. There's
guys,
$1 million
guys.
condos that are empty. How do we get those people sleeping in the doorways to be able to afford that place? Where the left says we should just give them that place
it
and
to
take
them,
it from
yeah.
whoever owns it.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
completely different.
You guys don't think it's just a very, very, very big divide between her knowing what violence is and not knowing what violence is? Do you
No.
think if somebody ever
Yeah, it's come
No,
from
no,
privilege.
listen.
Exactly.
Do you think that if somebody ever punched her in the face, like throughout her entire life, she would know the difference between violence and someone calling her an idiot once? Because I feel like somebody called her an idiot once. She's like, "That's violence," and then she got them expelled from their school. And they decided that from that point on, for the rest of her life, she'll dedicate her life to fighting whatever the fuck she considers violence. Mostly,
Yeah,
I just
that's
want to see her get punched in the face. That's the honest
I
truth.
mean, that's the thing, how like insensitive and condescending it is to actual rape victims to say that, oh, this guy saying "Hey, baby" is assault. That's just assault. You've been assaulted. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's practically rape.
That's it.
It
Like
is
now
practically
go
rape.
talk to someone who's actually been through getting raped and like trying to fight their way out of it, and it's you. How do you? I don't understand. I got triggered. But yeah, so just not doing something is now doing something. You're violent.
Well,
That's
it's
the
like
ultimate cognitive dissonance, guys. That is the
no,
ultimate cognitive
it's like you're
dissonance.
fucking. You
Not
have
doing
Ayan
something
Hirsi
is now
Ali,
doing something.
and then you have all those fucking, Western civilization, Muslims who are all colorful and they don't have to wear a fucking hijab or anything like that, right? But then you have Ayan Hirsi Ali,
Yeah.
and they like try to tell her about how she's wrong about the things that she experienced in her life. But these are the same people who are like, you can't, don't undermine my lived experience. And that's exactly what they do to her because she just has the wrong view.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like I like her, I like her view, and
It's so they're such hypocrites. They talk about understanding other people's experience, but only if you are one of them.
only if it's a part of their
Like,
narrative. If it
yeah,
fits into their narrative, if they can use it for their advantage, then it's fine.
I was at a conference and one of the people there like asks a question about the state of America and what's going on there, just like assuming that everybody in that room would automatically agree with her. Like not even a consideration that maybe there's someone who doesn't think what you think right now. But there's just this presumption. They're so sure. And that's what I don't get about people. Like I'm always questioning myself. I'm always trying to hear both sides. I'm trying to understand what's going on, trying to find some middle ground, trying to make sense of something.
Well,
And
that's not
nobody else
true.
seems to be doing that.
It's because kids aren't told that they're wrong in school anymore. They're giving half marks. They're giving fucking good jobs just for fucking putting their names on a piece of paper. They're not told that they're fucking morons and nothing they fucking conceived up to that point has been pure retarded fucking dribble. And they grow up and they fucking live their lives, living as if nothing they've ever done was wrong. And they don't even conceive of the idea that they could potentially be wrong about the way they think or the way they
No, but
do.
then they actually do fail in school, but then they say that it's the
No, they
system.
don't. No,
No,
they
there are though.
don't. No,
They'll say
no, no,
politics
no,
is
no.
the
Okay, well,
system, but
actually,
it's
you're
not
right.
the
You're right. You're
system.
right. Actually, you're right. That's
When
exactly
they
what
do
happens.
fail,
When
no,
they
because
do
I've had
fail,
teachers
it's
who
the
say no, you
system's
don't
fault.
do that. Like you still there's people who still get A's in these classes and people who don't. And I'm telling you, the SJWs aren't the ones who are acing their classes. The ones who are acing their classes are doing shit.
Well, unless it's gender studies.
Yeah, unless it's that.
Because if you're a smart person, you can't ace in gender studies. Like, I think I told this story. I was getting my motorcycle license in California. I failed the test the first time, and then the DMV worker said, "Don't take the test like a smart person. Take the test like the state of California would have written the test." I was like, "Okay," and so I just kind of picked stupid answers that would sound academically correct, but in practice would be the stupidest thing you could do, and I got 100.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing with your gender studies class. That's the same mentality that it's written with. It's written by people who have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. It's all about the fees,
Yeah, and I was talking to
the
someone
fee fees.
about the fact that Trump is getting rid of all the experts in the field and putting his own like business people in there. And my question to them is what's going on? Like before Trump came in, there was a lot of people who were starting to not trust experts. Why? Why would that be? Why is that happening? Why are people so resistant to the top in their field nowadays?
Well, who's top of the field nowadays? That's the problem.
Yeah, how do you even
Okay,
decide?
I'll put it like this. You remember my fucking great state of Missouri? We have our fucking Missouri University, Mizzou,
Yeah.
and they had the protest. And that one teacher was yelling, "Can I get some muscle over here to remove this guy who was part of the student press?" Then it turned out that was the teacher who was in charge of the media fucking coursework for the school.
Mm-hmm.
That was her whole job, was freedom of the press and teaching it to students and how to be good press workers, who was trying to have student press forcibly removed,
Yep.
doing the complete opposite of what she should be
Because she
doing at
wanted a
lunch.
safe space, a non-media safe space.
Well,
Now,
no, my point
which
is
part?
she's the university expert in freedom of the press, and that's what she's doing. So no, you really can't trust experts. It's really hard to, because they all have their agenda. They all have something they're starting to push.
Yeah, but then you talked about how like you trust Mattis because you know what he does and he's an expert in his field
And
and
what he's actually done, right? So I'm saying is she was Melissa Click, right? She was teaching the students about freedom of the press and how, standing up to authority, speaking truth to power and all this shit. And then you saw what she did, right? General Mattis, like he has years of experience, like actually been around, decisions that he's made, orders that he's passed down. Like I have the benefit of having actual effect on my life from decisions that he has made. Right, so I know I can trust what he says over other people, but the universities are full of people who
right, but that's how
don't even
people
have
feel
real world
about the people who
experience.
they think are experts, right? Like everybody thinks that they know better than everybody else, and everybody thinks that the people that they listen to are more
But they pick
credible than
people
everybody
just because
else.
they agree with them.
Yeah, how do you
I
know
don't.
you
I
don't?
don't.
Well, no,
I
nobody
don't
in our
agree with
stream does
Mattis.
that.
Yeah. I don't agree with Mattis on everything,
We
but
purposely
I
seek
will
out people
definitely
who
listen to his
disagree.
point of view. And like he's anti-Russia and I'm pro-Russia, right? But I'm more than willing to listen to all of his views and explanations, and there's
Yeah.
validity to it. And I would, if he gave me my marching orders to be anti-Russia, I will go out and faithfully be anti-Russia because that's what needs to be done, because I trust his opinion from actual experience. But there's like you look at these papers. I was looking at climate change papers, and then a lot of the stuff like circles back. The citations do a big circle. I was like, okay, so who actually did this research? Nobody seemed to actually have done the study. It's half of it is research of somebody else's study, whose research of somebody else's study, and so on and so forth, until you get back to the beginning. And like, how the fuck did they even manage this?
The problem is the government doesn't listen to the experts because I'm in the field, I'm doing the research, we're making the policy recommendations, and they listen to the people who give them money. They listen to the lobbyists. So it
For
doesn't
what?
even,
For what field?
well, I'm specifically in mental health,
No, I know.
but
I'm talking about climate change. But here's the thing: is the government is giving money to climate change research.
yeah, and they
If
haven't.
the
Where's
research
the
comes
plan?
back that climate change isn't a man-made thing and it has nothing to do with us,
The
there's
money
no more money
gets
from that.
Does it
So it
matter though?
seems like,
Like, do we still not need
well,
to
I
do
don't know.
something?
If you're making $5 million a year and then you turn around and tell me, hey, there's nothing we can do about this, am I going to give you $5 million next year?
Okay.
No, you're going to write yourself out of a job when your research comes back. So if somebody who is a government hired climate change researcher comes out and says they're man-made climate change, there's no evidence that
Okay,
supports that
no, my
theory.
question is, doesn't matter if it's
I'm going to
man-made.
no. What I'm saying is I'm going to believe him because he's literally firing himself, right? So he has more reason to say the opposite than he does to say that. So I'm more inclined to believe that because that means he no longer has a job. Because his whole job is to research how we can stop man-made climate change, and he's saying there is no man-made climate change, right? Versus somebody who's getting paid millions of dollars a year by the government to study man-made climate change.
I
He
don't,
kind of has an incentive to keep pushing that there is man-made climate change. I'm not
I just,
saying that that's what they're all doing, but I'm saying it's hard to take their word for it because they have a vested interest. It's kind of hard to be unbiased when your entire way of life is dependent on saying that it exists. Like a fucking priest or a pastor. Of course they're going to say God exists. If they were like, no, I'm an atheist, they're kind of out of a job.
yeah, and there's been so many cases of scientific consensus that has still as science progresses, and that's why I love science because it allows for change once more information becomes available.
That's the
Like,
problem that I have with climate change research. The government took it over. The government funds it. Now the government is pushing this. This is the narrative that we want,
and for
right?
me, it's just like, why do our automatic responses just to go to the government to solve things? Like, why is that have to
Far
be?
right is the exact opposite of that. We need a government, but we have to keep a watchful eye because you can't trust people in power. Power corrupts. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all.
Well, that's why, and people are like, "Oh, well, you're a bigot. Government solves all problems."
But I
Like,
mean, like
no, it doesn't.
the issue
Black
with
people would be better off if there wasn't government so involved in their lives. That's
yeah,
just a fact. All of the statistics bear it out. Sorry, all the
yeah, but
government involvement.
and even
Well,
when they
if you look,
talk
because
about
at the end of after the end of the Civil War, the government ignored black people, and it was like, you stay to your side. You know, the segregation, the
yeah,
personal living conditions of black people were not that bad and were steadily getting better. Then white people saw how like there was higher marriage rates. They started to raise an income. There were actually millionaire black people starting to prop up. Then they started lobbying the government to actually do something about the black people and their success. And look at how that turned out. That's the government involvement. So fuck the government.
But people are so willing to trust and want that safety and security. That's the thing.
Well, it removes their personal responsibility.
Yeah, that's
That's
exactly
and
it.
that's the problem. Like
And I
that's
mean, even when you talk about climate change and whether it's man-made or not, like the Earth is gonna be fine. It's been through things like for billions of years. It's
4
humans.
extinction level events.
Yeah, it's whether
4.
it's our
5.
survival we should be worried about. Like why this is the thing that I don't get with the climate change debate of like the Earth will survive. Like there's people who literally are living in cities and can't breathe and are getting like if you go to Tehran and Iran, like it's fucking you can't there's smog everywhere. Like you can't breathe. I can't be in the city. I actually get sick.
Well, yeah.
It's
See, and there's the
gross.
thing is that's the same thing. All the big cities talk about overpopulation. It's like that's not actually a problem. The math doesn't bear it out. And if you leave the city, you'll realize that there are huge, huge areas of land with nobody on them all over the
Yeah.
place. But you packed yourself in the city. Like how many people are on the 1,000 square feet where your apartment is? Right? Because isn't there a multi-level apartment?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got like I've lived in a 5-story apartment complex. There was 15 people on about 700 square feet going up.
Mhm.
Right? So on the actual land mass, that's a shit ton of people. It's like, yeah, it feels crowded when you're in an apartment building, when you're in fucking New York City, where there's fucking millions of people stacked on top of each other. But I'm in the country where I can drive for 5 fucking minutes and I'm out in the middle of nowhere. And I can go shoot guns and nobody will even hear them.
Yeah.
But we're overcrowded. It's like, we're really not. Y'all are just clustering together and then complaining about it.
Well, the reason people live in the city is because it's better.
Groupthink.
No,
That's
it's
why.
not.
It's better to be in the group. They feel safety in numbers, right? They're like,
Yeah,
oh, out in
yeah.
the country, like you can get raped and
But
like
there's also like
marauders will
theft
show up
in
at
the
your
city.
house. And like, yeah, you know, maybe if you live in Africa, that's a serious problem, but we don't have that problem here.
No, but it's also life, culture, like a nightlife, restaurant.
But what good is any of that
last,
shit?
Last time we went fucking downtown, some idiot fucking drove by shooting his gun. Like, fuck.
Yeah,
No,
see,
that
this is
was
what you
literally
want?
the last time we went into the heart of the city. Fuck that shit.
I'm in the
See,
heart
I
of the
can, I can
city
go
and
down
I
to the.
I
I
want
can go
no
down-
guys. I want to go to the outskirts of fucking civilization, somewhere in the college, and then shoot my own guns.
Okay, you
and then not
pretend
have
that
to
you're trying to
flee
get
the
away with
police
from
afterwards.
civilization, but when you take your fucking computer and you sit all day hanging out with people, that's not you being isolated. That's just being the same social person. You're just doing it in a lazy fucking way.
in a better way,
Yes.
because then you don't have to
Okay.
deal with people.
I like
can-
Yeah,
actually.
You just
I
hit the
can
mute
walk
button
away.
and it's over.
That's it.
You don't
That's
have to
all I
hail a
do.
cab or call an Uber and wait.
And pay $70 to get fucking.
And you can
home.
sit there naked and nobody cares. You can be naked as you want talking to somebody.
naked
and they
and
don't even care
masturbating.
because they won't even know.
You
Exactly.
could be ugly too, and no
Exactly.
one would know.
Fat and ugly, skinny and toothless, dyed hair. It doesn't matter.
We are all of those things.
Maybe.
Okay, one article down.
Is
So,
that the first
an
one? What
hour
the?
in,
Vice
we're
said
still-
safety in numbers. Tell that to 6 million Jews, my dude. Well, those 6 million Jews were not clustered all living in one city because the Nazis would have had a hell of a time trying to kill him if that were the case. Right? They were spread out across Europe and we're kind of like, well, this will go over, you know, it'll be fine. And they didn't stand up and fight. But there's this subconscious primal instinct of safety in numbers. You could try, I guess. I don't. Oh, he's talking to you, Siggy. You're the one that said he was lazy. That Loki was lazy. Vice said he's going to fight you in real life. But there's the safety in numbers, like the predators out there. So like if you're in a group, then the predator is scared away. But it's funny because the predator in the human species is also a human, so it actually has the same safety in the group of people because now it can hide in the same group that you're trying to seek protection. We gotta break that primal caveman way of thinking that being in a large group protects us in any way, unless you're protesting.
Or all wearing a uniform of all black clothes and passing messages through speech. into ears.
I thought we'd talk about the rape culture. I found some evidence
Wait,
that rape culture
if
is real.
we are just down to one, I mean, if we finally finished one article, why do I have two articles cited in the description of the video?
Oh, that was the one to talk about the start of the Black Bloc.
Do we care about that? Should I keep it in?
Unless Siggy fucking what do you? Well, I put it in
Oh no,
Uh,
I was just
in the
finding a
stream.
reference point.
The
Yeah,
LA
that was just
Times.
that one just references the first one. Yeah, that one
Yeah.
references the first
No,
one.
that's not. But I
So
did post the article in Google Hangouts that if we
I
get to,
don't
I
look
would
in
like to.
Hangouts. I
I
don't
want
look
to
in there.
discuss this
you should. You
Yasmin
should always have that
Abdel
open.
girl
Okay.
who is
Well,
using
we're
taxpayer
gonna talk
money.
about rape culture. Hold
Hold
on.
on, hold on, hold on. So which one am I keeping?
The
Keep them
first
both.
one.
One references the other.
Okay,
Who
whatever.
cares? It doesn't matter. Move on.
Yeah. Well, he might have put them in a different order, so who knows?
I put the LA
17-year-old
Times
female
first.
charged with raping a 19-year-old male. I thought they were both LA Times. That's why I said I don't know.
Wow.
Serial.
Saginaw, Michigan woman could get life in prison for raping a man. Lastina Marie Smith, 17, stands accused of raping a 19-year-old man at knife point, allegedly forcing him to engage in oral and vaginal sex, reports Michigan Live. She was arraigned on January 17th on 2 felony counts of first-degree criminal sexual conduct. Each charge carries a maximum punishment of life in prison. This bitch is probably going to get probation. Just throwing that out there. Smith is being held without bond in Saginaw County Jail. She is scheduled to appear in court on February 3rd for a preliminary hearing to determine probable cause. Smith's friends and family have rallied around her on social media, posting messages of support on her Facebook page, reports the Daily Mail.
Of course.
Yeah, because, hey, it's cool that you raped a dude. I mean, it was just a white boy, right? Or something like that.
It
I don't know if
was
he's
just
white.
oral
It
sex.
only has a
right?
picture of her. I'm just assuming. No, and vaginal sex.
Oh.
Right, but
How-
he had an
how do
erection,
you-
so he must have wanted it.
Didn't ha- did, could
Well,
could,
I
you-
mean,
could you
there
do it
is
with the
an
floppy?
argument there. There's not the same the other way around.
No, actually, you can get an erection out of fear.
Yeah, that's true.
It's and you repeated touching can cause an erection whether you want to get one or not.
Also, you could. Be
I learned that
touched.
pretty early in high school.
Stupid boxers.
Always touching me.
One commenter on her Facebook page took issue with the length of her potential prison sentence if convicted, comparing it to the light sentence handed down to Brock Turner. Because, Brock Turner totally fucking raped a woman at knife point. That totally
that's
happened.
the same thing.
It's totally the
A
same.
girl he was hanging out with all night and drinking together, who was older than him.
And they left together. Well, no, this boy is older than this girl, so you can't make that argument.
Yeah, but she clearly was the legal one in the two situations. So if Brock Turner was getting drinks, who was giving it to him?
Right. All right. That would be great if they also charged her with contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, justice is supposed to be blind, so it doesn't matter if a crime was committed against you. You still committed a crime. That's just my view.
Okay.
Well, okay, so I had a guy that was my neighbor when I was in California in high school, and he got 15 years in prison, which I thought was kind of a short sentence, and I said so, and he kind of looked at me weird, and I was like, well, I mean, you did it. So his wife went to 7-Eleven, and 3 black guys robbed her and beat the shit out of her, and then they stayed outside the 7-Eleven, and she ran home, told her husband what happened. He went down there and shot all 3 of them, and one of them died. And he got 15 years. You shot 3 people and killed one, and you only got 15 years. He got off pretty good. But he claimed mental duress, and I was like, I get the defense, but you still committed the crime, and I feel like justice.
I don't think anyone even in jail would have a problem with him for that.
Well, okay, in the state of Missouri, he probably wouldn't have got any jail time. Just to throw that out there. I'm just saying. In California, though, you're not even supposed to have a gun. So he had
I would be
illegal
willing to
firearm
go to jail
possession.
for that, though. Like, I wouldn't care if someone beat up like my kid or something. I'd go shoot them and then pay the sentence.
Well, I'm saying is in the state of Missouri, you probably wouldn't get any jail sentence. But in California, the gun was illegal. He discharged the firearm in public. He shot 3 people. He killed 1 person. And those are all felonies in California.
Wait,
they just beat her up and robbed her, though. They didn't rape her.
I don't know. He might not have mentioned that. I mean, would you tell a 14-year-old? Yeah, my wife got raped at the 7-Eleven.
I feel like, and the 7-Eleven did nothing, just stood there. He didn't call the cops.
Is an Indian dude who gets robbed by the same group of people all the time.
Yeah,
But
they
no,
kept
they
bringing
straight
that
up
up in
no.
Shameless, and I don't get how
Oh,
that happened.
the funny thing, the 7-Eleven clerk told the cops that that guy came to buy something and those black people attacked him. And then
Oh
the cops were like,
shit!
he already told us why he shot them, and that wasn't it. And he's like, oh.
They have the wife like evidence of her getting beaten up too, right?
No. The 7-Eleven clerk tried to say that they attacked that guy because
Yeah.
he knew that that guy was taking revenge, right? He was coming to avenge his wife. So it was kind of like, oh, no, they attacked that guy, and that guy was defending himself. So he was trying to make it, easier on that guy. And they're like, he already told us that his wife
Oh.
was attacked earlier. And he's like, oh, okay.
Oh.
So the guy tried to
That's kind of
defend
sweet.
the husband, right?
But still, why
didn't
didn't
get
he call the cops when when the lady was getting beaten up?
I don't know if he did or not. That might have been why the cops. Because
Or maybe he's
where I
scared.
live, okay, okay. So my junior year, across the street from where I lived, a dude went in and shot the grandmother, the mother, and the 7-year-old son, and then left the 3-month-old baby. It was 2 hours before the cops showed up after being called with a report of gunshot. 2 hours. So that 7-Eleven clerk could have called the cops, and that guy still would have had plenty of time to get there and shoot him before the cops
Yeah.
showed up.
I think there was a study that says that if you call a cab and go to the hospital or an Uber and go to the hospital, your chances of getting to the hospital sooner are higher than calling the ambulance.
It's true.
Yes, they'll also charge you less. An ambulance charges you like $300 to fucking show up and take your ass to the
No, that's
hospital.
no, they don't. I actually
It's
spoke
more
to a
than that.
paramedic.
In some places.
In Canada, I spoke to a paramedic. It's not the only time that happens is if there's been a number of times on that number that you have false called and there hasn't been an emergency. Like if you call and it's not a real emergency, that's when they'll charge you. But other than that, if it's an emergency, they don't.
This is funny because I like this quote, right? So it says, "This is what we're talking about when we mention privilege," writes the angry user. Brock Turner, a white teenager, assaults an unconscious woman, leading her back to a dumpster. Hold on, wait. I thought she was unconscious.
Yeah.
Would that be dragging her back? If she's fucking unconscious, you're not leading an unconscious
Or
person
carrying
anywhere.
her back
Right, exactly.
on his
One-
shoulder, like obviously.
there are different ways that you could get them behind the dumpster, but leading is not one of them if they're fucking unconscious, right? Just a minor detail. And inserting his fingers inside of her, and is tackled mid-act by 2 men. For this crime, he served 6 months. If you do not believe our country and our culture is racist and sexist, look no further. Where is the talk of Listina Smith's future, of the life ahead of her ability, of her potential?
Yeah, maybe she should use her potential to
Right.
not fucking hold a knife to somebody and force
Not
them
rape somebody?
Hey, I'm gonna go fine.
Maybe
We'll go
you
with
shouldn't
rape.
rape somebody?
We'll go with rape with the threat of assault with a deadly weapon. I don't know how many more charges can you tack on there.
Here you go. About 3% of American men, or 1 in 33, have experienced an attempted or completed rape in their lifetime, the organization notes, adding 1 out of every 10 rape victims is male. And that's the end of the article there, Miss Siggy. We wouldn't finish this article.
That was
That's
me.
the end.
That was a pretty short article.
It was. But don't worry, I have another one about rape.
All right, let's go.
This one's good. So
Much time do
we
we
want to
have?
talk about the rape culture. All right, it's important. We got time.
We got time. It's only 1:18.
12, 8, 11, 18.
No. The time that has been going on for has been 1 hour.
Okay,
and
but
18 minutes.
I want to get to this article too if we have time.
Okay. Female jailer charged with raping male inmates. Second DOC officer allegedly brought contraband into Hominy prison. That's crazy, man. Osage County, shit. Osage County prosecutors charged 2 former corrections officers on allegations of rape and importing contraband. Because, I mean, let's mention the
Or
contraband.
how else is the
Because that's
contraband
probably
getting in there?
important. No, because it's probably important, right? Let's like fucking two former corrections officers were raping people. Let's talk about the contraband.
Oh God, look at her.
Oh, she's sexy.
Oh God.
Carmen
Is it-
Darlene Pogue, 33 of Cleveland, Oklahoma.
And that's the guy she chose to rape?
I don't know. That might be the
God.
other rapist. Is charged with 2 counts of first-degree rape and bribery of fiduciary. I don't know what that means. I know the word. I don't know what it means, though.
Here,
Anyways, according to court records, Pogue resigned in September from her post as corporal at Dick Connor Correctional Center.
fiduciary involving trust in regard to the relationship between a trustee and a beneficiary. So I think it's someone who like assign.
Okay. So Pogue allegedly had sex with 2 inmates in mid-2016 and September 2016. According to a probable cause affidavit, investigators allege that she admitted to having unprotected intercourse twice with 2 inmates. So is that twice with 2 inmates both
Unprotected?
times, or
Or
2
at the
times
time.
with once with each inmate? I'm just curious.
No, no.
Was she
No,
was she
see,
wobbly
hold on,
Hing
hold on.
herself or what?
This is a very important part about phrasing. Twice having unprotected sex with 2
Having
inmates.
unprotected
So
intercourse
that
twice
is only
with,
twice unprotected. The rest of it
right,
is left
unprotected
unknown.
intercourse twice with 2 inmates.
Right.
So
So
is
What
they
it
kind
don't
of
2
an
have any.
inmates
idiot
2
does
times
that?
or 1 inmate each?
Maybe
I
it's
hope she
cubed.
got an STD.
Maybe it's a full 6.
That's probably how she got caught. She gave one of them like herpes or something. Or got it from
She
one and
gave
gave
the
it to the
poor
other.
inmates herpes.
While under
Poor
investigation,
innocent
Pogue offered information regarding employee Cade Carlson. What a cunt. Oklahoma Department of Correction Special Agent Randy Knight states in an affidavit. According to Pogue, employee Carlson was introducing contraband to an inmate, Knight states. So she's like, you raped 2 inmates. She's like, that guy was smuggling in crack. That guy right there. I don't know why we're talking about me. That dude. That's how that fucking went down. God damn. Carlson was a captain at the same facility. He was allegedly bringing contraband to one of the inmates with whom Pogue allegedly had intercourse. For reals?
That guy's living like
I
a
sucked
king.
his dick. That guy gave him crack. Right?
That one inmate is living like a king. One guy's bringing him crack, the other one's showing up and having sex with him. What is happening? Everyone who's listening, if you ever want to go to jail, go to that jail. You'll get pussy and contraband in the same at the same time. That's how they got caught. That's how you got caught. He was bringing them his crack. She was already on his dick. He just opened the door and it's like, whoops, sorry.
Hey, I got that crab. What the fuck? Pogue denied bringing illegal contraband to inmates. However, she allegedly told Knight she brought an inmate clothing and a silver ring, according to the affidavit.
Oh, she's in love with this guy.
So by clothing, do you mean underwear and socks? Because that's pretty much all they can fucking
And a
wear,
wedding
other
ring?
than their jumpsuit. Yeah, his wedding ring before she fucking raped him. Here, your wife told me to give this to you. Now pull your pants down.
Do you really think though he didn't want it? Like some guy in jail?
Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm fucking in jail for a prolonged period of time. Even that ugly bitch might get it.
Right.
Especially knowing that I would be the victim no matter what. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
sorry.
fiduciary means that you are taking advantage of someone you're supposed to be responsible for.
Well, it's the same thing. Like a parole officer cannot have sex with a parolee.
Yeah, or you like you're
Right?
a doctor isn't supposed to have sex with the nurses.
Nurses?
What? I
thought
thought it was the
patients.
patients. God damn.
Oh, that's
Fuck.
true.
I'm dropping out of school. Can't have sex with the nurses. What's the point? Carlson allegedly brought an inmate on separate occasions in spring 2016 4 pairs of tennis shoes. God damn. Must have been some good dick. According to the affidavit.
Yeah.
In spring, what is that,
What?
like 3 months? In 3 months, she brought him 4 pairs of shoes? What the fuck is this guy doing in there?
Yo, no, this guy was living large, and then he just decided to be like, "Fuck it, she raped me. Why not?"
No. He doesn't get a choice of what kind of conviction this
Yeah,
is.
but he's getting shoes and clothes out of it. You're sitting in jail. You're getting a
Well-
woman who wants to have sex with you, and she's bringing you stuff. Even
I-
I would go for that.
Guys,
That poor rape victim.
Hold on. There may be more to the story than we think. If she was bringing him contraband, not contraband, and she was riding his dick, do you think the other guy was also bringing him contraband because he was riding his dick as well?
Well, it doesn't say anything about that, but maybe.
No, maybe
Well, she's the only one being charged with rape at this time, so The inmate told investigators that Carlson received between $10,000 and $15,000 for delivering the boxes. So she was also getting paid. So she was raping him and getting paid. So
Okay.
now the story's changed. Now it's different. Now he's a victim. All right. So she's like, "Yeah, I'll bring you those tennis shoes, but you got to whip that
See?
dick out, and you got to pay me." So she
Wait, no, sorry.
basically
So
turned him out. That's what happened. Yeah, apparently the correction officer was paid between 10,000 and 15,000 for delivering the boxes. That's a shit ton of
okay.
money. What the fuck was in those boxes? And apparently it wasn't crack; it was tennis shoes. The fuck? Like, goddamn. Carlson reported he was uncertain if contraband was contained inside of the shoes and underneath the packaging material. Maybe it was crack.
I feel like this needs to be a movie. A plot to the movie.
The inmate reportedly told investigators the boxes contained narcotics, cell phones, and tobacco. Woo. Carlson told investigators he received $1,500 for the delivery, according to the affidavit. An Osage County judge issued an arrest warrant for Carlson and Pogue on Tuesday. Sheriff's deputies arrested and booked the two into jail Thursday, according to jail records, where they were promptly raped. Pogue and Carlson resigned last September after being interviewed by investigators, according to the DOC spokesman Alexander Grzewski. All right. So there you go. See? Women raping all over the place. All over the place. All
Uh,
right. See, this is a real epidemic in this country, and we should do something about it. Somebody
maybe
get the
we do
MRAs.
live in a rape culture. I don't know. Now I'm starting to wonder.
No, I told you guys, like, I wrote a paper, and it was statutory rapes, and it was a male perpetrator and a female perpetrator, and everything else, like everything about it was almost identical. But the way the stories were written was like, this man fucking repeatedly assaulted and raped this poor little girl, and then the woman is like, they had an inappropriate relationship that went on for 6 months. It's like, sorry, both of them did like the same exact fucking thing. Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
completely different narrative for the two of them. It's
Ugh.
the nuance of it, I guess. Here we go.
What
Here on the
I
lighter
don't
side.
Yeah,
What?
okay.
Go
No,
ahead.
I thought like there was a time where they were saying rape was about power and not about sex.
Well, that's what. Okay, so you have
But
different
now
like
has that narrative
statutory rape.
changed?
Statutory rape is an amorous form of rape, right? There
Yeah.
does not like usually if that's the charge, there was no force involved, and it was like a 16-year-old with an 18-year-old in some cases
Yeah.
because that totally makes sense. Like a senior in high school can't date three-quarters of the high school. Or well, they can date them, but they can't do any physical activities with them, or they'll be charged with like
They've
a sexual
changed that
crime.
now though, that
Not
it's like
everywhere.
within a
Not
3-year
everywhere.
duration or something.
Not everywhere. Like in Nevada, it is
We can't
16.
hear
But if
you.
you work in the school, you cannot. If you work in the school, you can't date somebody who is a student. But the legal age of consent is 16.
Loki, can you talk?
If he's talking, I can't
No.
hear him.
No, we can't hear you.
Anyway,
Okay.
so
Yeah, because he's
while
been
while he
talking and
unfucks
changing.
that, so NME.com, I have no idea what that is.
What are these sites that you find?
Star Wars Cantina Band song is named Australia's favorite sex jam. I read that and I fucking laughed. Like, because the song comes to mind and I'm like, I couldn't imagine fucking to that song. And somehow this is the song
Wait,
Australians are like, that's the fucking band right there.
is that like the Star Wars song? Like the
Yeah,
dun
when
dun?
like you see the picture in the article, right? They're in the
Yeah.
cantina in the first movie, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that song? Like that's that's weird.
It's ahead of Hits by The
That's just
Weeknd,
fucking
Rihanna,
weird.
and Genuine.
It beat out everybody, apparently. More Australians have sex to John Williams' Cantina Band song from Star Wars than any other piece of streamable music, according to Spotify research. The streaming giant compiled a list of Australia's top 10 sex jams by scoring playlists with the word sex in their title. Tracks by King of Leon's Sex on Fire, The Weeknd Often, and Genuine's Pony all appear in the list, but comfortably behind Williams' composition from the original Star Wars film.
Those are
Spotify
all
said
horrible songs.
Spotify said Williams' Cantina Band song takes out the #1 spot of the top sexy time playlist by a landslide, which is
I
so
need to
fucking
listen to this song
so
again. Hold
weird.
on.
All right, so the list goes like this: Cantina Band by John Williams, which we all know; Birthday Sex by Jeremiah; Sex, Cheat Codes, X Crisscross, Amsterdam, Cheat Codes.
There's
I don't know that.
10-hour
I know
videos of the
Crisscross.
Cantina bit.
I know I don't I know who Crisscross is. Like Crisscross, I'm make it jump, jump. That's like super old, but I don't know that song or
Ew.
Cheat Codes. Sex with Me by Rihanna. I also don't know that one. Pony by Genuine. Who doesn't know that one? Sex on
I don't know
Fire by
that one.
Kings of
Okay.
Leon. That
That's
one
so
sucks.
cliche.
Can you
So
guys hear me
lame.
now?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
Often
Okay.
by The Weeknd. Earned It.
That's the
Also
most
by The
disgusting.
Weeknd. Thinking About
That's-
You by Frank Ocean. Or that one's not bad. Slow Motion by Trey Songz. What the fuck are you doing, Australia?
I don't
What the fuck?
understand. These
This is
songs suck.
seriously.
Why not like
There's no-
9-inch Nails? Like
Why
that
is
should
there
have
no
made
like Earth, Wind, and Fire or something? Some fucking Barry Manilow? Some
it.
like goddamn. No, this is just a weird fucking list with Cantina Band as #1. Like as if the rest of the list wasn't like meh. They had to just fucking goddamn.
What list is this? What did I miss?
This is the top 10 favorite sex songs in
What?
Australia.
I want to know which Red Hot Chili Peppers
Oh, in
song.
Australia.
Yeah, that's what I say. What the fuck is Australia doing? Because so many
Apparently nothing right.
Australians
They have
seemingly
no
enjoy
comments.
playing the Cantina Band song in sexy situations. John Williams is also named Australia's favorite sex artist by Spotify. Congratulations. I hope those were the titles you fucking wanted. I hope that's the legacy you were hoping to leave behind. Oh, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Ninja Sex Party, Sex Pistols, Enrique Iglesias, Rihanna, The Weeknd, Omarion, Drake, and Cigarettes After Sex all appear in the top 10 behind the Oscar-winning composer. Well, okay, for
There's
the artist.
10-hour videos of the Cantina Band. They're 10 hours straight. It has 6 million views. There's people fucking for 10 hours. 6 million views.
This is for real, people. This is what's going on. Oh, where is Bering? I would like Bering to answer for this. What the fuck y'all doing down under?
We invited Bering, but he seems to not want to show up to our live stream, guys. Even though he's promised on numerous occasions to at least 2 of us so far.
All right. So I guess we're gonna turn it dark
Answer for the
again.
people.
This is amazing. 5 million, 6 million views.
Mostly from Australia.
10-hour video.
Okay, let's turn this dark. All right, so Mashable.com, 5-year-old Eva is the feminist role model you've been looking for.
Oh God.
Yeah, feminism for 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
Millions of people have been captivated by a 5-year-old girl's view on feminism, which she shared during an appearance on the Channel 4 show The Secret Life of 5-Year-Olds, which I've never fucking heard of.
Can we
Eva,
watch the video?
No.
if you want to get copyright striked, you can, but I don't know if I'm assuming Loki's monetizing this.
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, so you definitely don't want to do that then.
Not
Eva
gonna-
didn't hold back. Yeah, I know. When she explained her thoughts on gender equality. For starters, Eva thinks it's really important for girls to go to work and to vote. And she's got no time for anyone who thinks that anything's off limits for girls. When fellow 5-year-old Jude says girls can't be scientists because they make silly potions, Eva has a pretty kick-ass response. I extracted the DNA from a banana once. Boys aren't better than girls, says Eva. They're exactly the same. Go, Eva.
So
Bonus.
stupid.
Emma Watson takes her fight for gender equality to the universities. Oh. Yes,
Oh,
this
geez.
is the world we live in, people. Where
Guys,
feminists
do you think,
look at a 5-year-old and be like, she's got some valid points.
guys, do you think she meant by extracted some DNA from a banana? Do you think she just means she ate one?
That's really cute,
No.
actually.
I would like to point out that feminism is so regressive that a 5-year-old is making valid points, according to them. If you spend any time around 5-year-olds, they don't say anything nuanced or anything of merit.
who's saying women shouldn't go to work and vote? What? I
Apparently,
don't
5-year-olds.
understand.
Apparently, other 5-year-olds are very politicized against women. They're very sexist.
Like, this
Barely
is
out of
what I don't
diapers.
get. Like, this outright, like, you should condemn this and you
Got
should speak out against this. Like, who is saying this? I don't get
It's
it.
like you're speaking out against what exactly? They're like sexism.
did, you,
What sexism?
did you guys
Point it
hear
out
about
to me. I'm
uh
with you. Where is it?
did you guys hear about Audie's like Super Bowl video
Yeah,
where they did
they
the
debunked
video about
themselves.
the
We talked
gender
about
and
this
then
last.
oh did we? Where
Yeah,
they're all like, hey Audie, you pay your women less. And they're like, wait, no. When you control for variables, there's no gender wage gap.
there isn't. It's not real. It's a figment of your
They
imagination.
debunk themselves.
Here we go. More in the oppression Olympics. Teen accused of spray painting racist slurs, swastikas, pleads guilty. The teenager accused of spray painting racial slurs and swastikas at 6 different locations in a single week last November could face sentencing in adult court. The teen pleaded guilty Friday to 5 charges, including inciting hatred, mischief against religious buildings, threatening conduct, possession of weapons, and breach of conditions following a previous conviction. All the charges stem from a series of incitement or incidents between November 13 and 19, when the teen spray painted racial slurs and symbols of white nationalism on 2 synagogues, a Jewish prayer house, a mosque, and a church whose minister is black. Anybody want to take bets that this is probably a white
Yeah, I was
Jewish teen?
wondering if like this was hired by George Soros.
Crown prosecutor Moise Karimji, holy fuck, I'd be a white supremacist too, made the request to have the teen sentenced as an adult, handing in a 40-page brief to bolster his argument. God damn.
the
Oh,
fuck?
The brief included evidence from the teen's various online accounts, including his Facebook page, where he listed his occupation as Hitman for Hitler.
how dumb.
And his religious views as Satanism, Nazism, and destruction. It's
This
great.
is the edgiest kid ever. I want him to come join their Discord server.
It's like, it's just a meme, bro. Yeah, can he have Discord in prison?
Probably.
Kareem
You
G.
could definitely get fucked and get tennis shoes, so
Yeah.
Discord wouldn't be far off.
Yeah.
I don't get it. If the left is
app.
gonna excuse pedophiles, when are they gonna start like saying criminals it's not their fault and
They do say
just
that, but
love
not
them
if the
too?
criminal is a white supremacist. Then fuck them. The prison should only have white people in them. You haven't heard that yet?
Yeah.
The narrative's out there. But pretty much only white people commit crimes. Because everything else is just, reaction to oppression. Kareem G noted that the youth justice system sets a 3-year maximum sentence. He fucking spray painted a building, you fucking dick.
know.
I think 3 years is long enough for fucking spray paint. All right? Just saying.
I love this girl rapes someone at knife point and they're bitching about her long sentence. Someone spray paint. Oh,
A swastika, and 3 years is
that's
not
worse.
long enough.
That's somehow worse.
Right, yeah, it's totally worse than rape, which would include
CDC?
probation time as
Oh,
well as time
CDC.
served. Oh no, I mean, getting a year for spray painting. Let's give him 2 months for everything that he spray painted. Right? What did he spray paint? Like 6 things or something?
Mhm.
Right? Okay, so let's give him 2 months for each, and then put him on probation for the same amount of time. That seems like it would be plenty, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that despite a finding by the forensic psychiatrist that the youth had a high risk of reoffending during his first 5 years of release. Yes, he's at high risk of using spray paint again. Oh dear fucking God! Somebody throw him under the jail.
Honestly,
fuck?
I prefer he spray spray walls with that spray paint as opposed to huffing it, but
Yeah, I know. Like, he's not raping people. Now, if he had raped somebody and they were like, he's a high risk of reoffending, I'd be like, yeah, lock this motherfucker up forever. But come on, it's like he spray painted some shit. Like, come on. I mean, even if he is really a racist and he wasn't just being funny,
Has he
still,
ever actually
I'm sorry,
physically hurt
you
somebody?
just read his fucking Facebook page. He's definitely fucking memeing the fuck out of it.
I know. But what I'm saying is like, even if he's like straight up like Stormfront, like if it is said he's a fucking avid member on Stormfront and he constantly posts like every day,
Mm.
I'm like, okay. But if you just said he's going to escalate his offending, then maybe I could see a longer sense. But he's going to reoffend. He's going to spray paint some shit that's going to hurt people's feelings again, right? You know, he's going to deface some public property. Yeah, not that serious. I think we could probably work with it. I'm just saying. Karimji also told the judge the youth resisted attempts to get him to take part in restorative justice, an alternative form of sentencing that would have included meeting with the victims of his crimes. Yeah, I can. I can just imagine him being like, "I'm not gonna hang out with any kikes or fucking camel jockeys." And then this fucking Karimji is like, "Yes, it. Throw him under the jail." Fucking.
Maybe this kid wants to go to jail. I don't know.
Hey, he'll meet his white supremacist brothers.
It's just a meme, bro. Well, if he's charged as a kid, he'll be fine. I mean, there are some shit fucking
I feel like there
juvenile
was a Law
correction
and Order
facilities, but
episode that kind of dealt with this.
all right, yeah, this is nothing new. I mean, kids fucking get all edgelord out there all the time. So
Yeah, but they were
Have-
taking some like 14-year-old kid to jail because he was just raised by a guy who was a Nazi and
yeah,
brainwashed his kid to be a
this is
Nazi.
where I think the kid is stupid, right? The offer would have meant no jail time if he was willing to work with the black, Christian, Jewish, and Muslim communities affected by his vandalism spree. Representatives of those communities supported that offer, according to Karimji's brief. Right, that's where I think you're like, dude, if you could avoid even the 3 years in jail or 1 year and 2 years of probation or whatever the fuck it would come out to
Yeah,
be,
anything.
dude,
Yeah.
no jail is better than jail. I'm sorry, like what the fuck? It's not like they're asking you to dime out other people, all
But
right?
that's what I'm saying. He seems like he wants to go to jail.
Well, that's what
Maybe
I'm
he's
saying.
just
Like,
like,
if
I
he
like
just,
it there.
I mean, you could just refer to the rabbi as kike all you fucking want. And worst case scenario, you will end up getting sent to jail, and you'll be back where you are now. Why refuse it? I don't get it.
So do you know, like, is there actually a rise against like hate crimes against Muslim people in North America? I keep seeing articles that that's some
No,
sort of.
there's occasional hate crimes against Muslims, but um, can you blame them? I mean, they're Muslims. Okay, where I lived in
I blame
Riverside,
violence
they
against
built a
anyone.
fucking mosque and they do fucking prayer 5 times a day. Sorry, it kind of triggers me a little bit because that shit's associated with fucking bombs going off and people fucking shooting at me. That's not what I want to wake up to at fucking 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Just saying. I can understand because apparently you can't do a noise complaint because they're protected by freedom of religion to fucking have prayer blaring over half the fucking city. I feel like that's impeding on other people's rights. That's just my opinion, but apparently they're protected under freedom of religion.
Mm-hmm. You should
And now
start your
it
own
had,
religion.
yeah, and
Yeah.
we should have fucking prayer calls too, right?
Yep.
And be like fucking lynch the black people, kill the kikes. See what they see how long they fucking give me freedom of religion on that one.
But like I'm wondering when they say hate crimes, because even I was looking into this bill that's happened, this motion, it's not a bill, it's not a law, that's happening in Toronto, which hopefully I'll do a video, or happening in Canada, which hopefully I'll do a video for. But they
Fuck
were saying the
Canada.
rise of hate crimes against Muslims has been increasing in the past few years. I'm just wondering, like, do they mean a like a nerdy comment on your Facebook page? Because the guy who wrote the bill actually said about the online hate that he experienced, how
Yes,
that
see that's
motivated.
that's exactly the problem that I have with
Yes,
it. Is it leaves it
exactly.
so open so that you can be charged with that.
No, but
And
it's
now
not a
here's the
law
thing.
to charge anyone with anything. It's not like
Yeah,
it's a motion. Not
it's the it's
yet.
the
Yes.
it's the foot in the door to keep the door open so they can get in with that shit. Now this is funny because the founding fathers did the same thing with slavery in the United States, right? Because there was abolitionists in the founding of the United States, and people were anti that. And I'm like, well, hate speech is kind of going the opposite direction, though. Like, you know, leaving the door open so we can abolish slavery is not the same thing as leaving the door open so we can charge people because you said something they didn't like online. That's a little different. I feel like those are
Yeah.
not comparable things. That's just me though. What do I know? Like
I don't know.
maybe I
If
should
I
be
wanted
post
to
slavery.
fucking not be able to speak out against Islam, I'd go back to Iran. Why am I even fucking here then? Like, what the fuck is the point of
Oh, and
living?
I guarantee you that's definitely on the list. You won't be able to speak about feminism. You won't be able to speak about social
I
justice
am
warriors.
willing to go to
You
jail.
won't be able to talk about black crime, and you definitely won't be able to talk about
No, I
Islam.
will, and I'll go to jail for it, and then I'll
You will.
die a
You will.
martyr. I don't know, whatever.
I told you, start applying to institutes in the United States. That's the conservative safe havens. And they have no problem hiring left leaning people. Whereas you're not quite left enough for a lot of the universities, ironically.
Yeah, it's funny. I in my day life, I'm being called like a conservative,
This
right
is my
wing,
point, right?
and then in
You're
my
not
nightlife, I
conservative.
come here and you guys are calling me a feminist and an SJW.
See, here's the thing is, you're not as far left as they are. And what the whole point of our narrative here is to show you that those people think you're right wing. And you're really
Yeah,
not, right?
no.
So every leftist thing that you say, it's like that's who you're taking up arms in defense of is those same people who are calling you a right wing Nazi.
Yeah, but I feel like I have changed my opinion on a lot of things that like. I mean, the
Well,
gun
just keep listening
issue,
to
if
Ben
for one.
Shapiro, and then you'll be out there with me in the anti-abortion rallies.
No, I don't think that one I'm gonna really switch on.
It's just
I,
science.
I guess I'm more of a libertarian in that. Like, I just don't think the government should be telling you what you should be doing with your body. Like, that's it.
Well, they're not telling you what you should be doing with your body because they're just saying that's somebody else's
But
body.
I don't think that they should be forcing people to pay for other people's abortions either. That's
Well, that's what I'm
wrong
saying.
as
Well,
well.
that's what I think the whole abortion concept will collapse back into being one of those fringe things,
It should be.
and that's where I want it. That's where I want it. I'll be content with that.
I don't know. I mean,
Because
I think.
well, here all the way back in the Roman times, they were like it was taboo all throughout time, but abortions have happened, and there have been ways to do them, and very few women would want them. But the whole thing is, we're teaching people that it's cool, you should totally do it, and it's
Yeah,
all
I don't
based
think
on the
that.
words of a eugenicist who wanted to get rid of all the black people.
Like, nobody should be celebrating. Like, I like with Lena Dunham coming out and saying, "I wish I've had an abortion." Like, go fuck yourself. Like, if you've been put in the position to actually have to have one, like, that's not something you should
Well,
be
that's my problem.
celebrating.
Is there are people out there who do it and they celebrate it.
They're stupid.
They are
They should have
stupid.
been aborted by their parents. That's what the truth is. They
Well,
shouldn't
yeah.
have
See,
been born.
that's my whole thing. I look at my life and I was like, well, if my parents had been pro-abortion, I wouldn't be here. So, kind of
Yeah, but
fucked up if I am.
so much of these dumb SJWs wouldn't either. So I don't know about that.
Well, they all have the right and a chance to life. They fuck up their life. That's on them. Those are the decisions they made. But they at least get the shot.
Can we get
Which,
to this?
well, yeah.
thing?
Hold on. I was gonna say, fuck. Where is it?
It ties into this
Hold on.
Sharia, this woman who thinks Sharia law is about feminism and inequality.
Right. So, what I was gonna say is like the far right view is everyone deserves a chance. What you do with that chance is on you. You fuck it up, that's your own fault. Right? Individual determinism, I guess you could
Huh?
say.
I just opened Facebook and it's saying Bill Maher gets upstaged by Milo Yiannopoulos on Real Time, and the Daily Beast is the one who is saying this. That
Damn.
really
Holy
that Bill
fuck.
that
I hate Daily Mail. Why did I
yeah, but they're actually
I hate you.
saying that he
No,
got
you posted a
Bill
Daily
Maher.
Mail fucking thing. I hate that site.
I
All the
know,
fucking
but I wanted
pop-ups
to get
everywhere.
I
Yeah, you
wanted
could have
to
screenshotted this shit so I don't have to deal with it.
oh, a screenshot. Fuck that.
No, see, like I've been trying to figure out because some of these ones they allow you, like you can block a website. So then when my search
Yeah, the
results,
LA
Daily
Times
Mail
one.
won't even show up. Daily Mail is one of the ones I want to block because of all the fucking pop-ups. Or if there was some way to look at it in like HTML only, so you didn't see the pop-ups, you just saw the code for it, I would be down with that. Anyways, a Muslim youth leader who clashed with Jacques Lambi over Sharia law went on a taxpayer-funded trip to the Middle East and North. What the fuck?
Yep. Good shit.
Yasmin Abdel Agiet
Whatever.
Baguette.
Nagid was on a speaking tour around countries with repressive Islamic regimes, which was paid for by the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, the Australian reported. So I'm assuming she's Australian?
Yes.
Okay.
Australia's back on the map tonight.
Yeah. The 25-year-old activist visited a number of countries, including Saudi Arabia, where women are canned as punishment for adultery. What? Caned, sorry. As punishment for adultery under Sharia law.
See, this is Daily
Okay.
Beast. They don't seem to be that biased.
This is
They're calling
Daily
her
Mail.
Okay. Never mind.
During her tour, Ms. Abdel Magid visited Kuwait, Jordan, Israel, and Egypt. She went to Israel? Was it a fuck Jews speech that she gave in Israel? Because it's funny, because Israel will allow that kind of shit. They're just not happy about it. Which can you hold it against them?
Well, she's just defending her wearing hijab. That's it.
She also visited Sudan, where 90% of women are impacted by genital mutilation.
Whatever. Women don't really need clitorises, right? They're not.
Have you seen the video of her?
Yeah. No, what I'm saying is like she's
But
going to countries talking about how fucking Sharia law is feminist in places where women have their clitorises forcibly removed. Like this is a real thing.
It's not forcible. It's only once they develop the want to touch their clitoris.
Oh.
I just want to know why. I wish we should watch her video. I just want to know how Sharia law is about justice and equality. That's what her video is saying.
Yeah, I know. I've seen the video, but I'm just saying,
What
like,
does
you
she
go
say?
to a place where, like, rampant sexism exists, talking about how Sharia law is great, where Sharia law is implemented and it's oppressing women.
Maybe
for real.
she's just trying to empower the women of those places. Just trying to convert them to feminism by letting them know that what they're doing is feminist ideals. Like if you show up
You
to a
guys,
place where
well,
everyone
no,
has
because
no
the women
choice,
aren't allowed to show up.
but
Women aren't allowed to be there. Remember?
Probably have to be brought there by their husbands.
She's basically just going to tell the men how they're right for abusing their women.
Which is fine. She's just.
Now, that's not fine.
She's
That's
a
the opposite
high-selling
of
author.
fine.
She's a high-selling author. She's making her money.
Where's the black bloc for this?
She's black and she makes blocks of money. So
no, because the taxpayers had to pay for it.
Why do the taxpayers have to pay for this?
Because she ain't got no money.
She got money to her tour and promoting her book is being done.
Her tour was paid for by the taxpayers of Australia.
I don't understand how.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
the Australian
right
government
now.
took money from its citizens, gave it to this cunt so she could go travel around the Middle East and tell the men who beat the shit out of their women and cut their genitalia that they're doing the right thing. That's what this boils down to. But
what did she say in her video? Like, what was her argument?
I don't know because I was yelling at the TV the whole time and cheering on the brunette chick who was yelling at her. She didn't have a very valid argument.
Disagree, so it's up to
interpretation. No, she was saying that Islam is the only religion that is feminist. Right? If you're a woman, you should be Islamic because it's the only religion. Not even then.
Okay.
You know, women owned property in Europe in the 1400s, right? Like
fine,
that was a thing.
The
right?
1100s, was that a time? Was the 1100s? Do you say the 1100s?
Yes.
Okay.
11th
in the 1100s, the 11th century. There you go. When was Shakespeare? That was like.
Yeah, but fucking Islam didn't exist then. So now what?
Right.
So you can't say. Well, that's what I'm saying. Okay, here's the thing. If you look at timelines for like the religious practices and how things were, Islam right now is at about the 1400s. We just want them to get with the times. We're like, hey, we already learned these lessons. Come catch up with us. We're gonna let you cheat and get advanced and level up without having to earn it, and they just won't take it. Right? Like, because honestly, that's where they're at, and you know, like the barbarism of the pre-Crusades and the Muslim invasion of fucking Europe and taking over of fucking places all across Europe is what started the Crusades, but the Crusades are the bad thing? I don't get it.
The thing is, in her video, she says the rule of Sharia is to follow the land on which follow the laws of the land which you are on. So if that's the case, then why the fuck are you advocating for it? If the land is saying we don't want Sharia here, isn't that your law to say, okay, that's what the land wants, I have to follow the law, and therefore I'm going to sit the fuck down?
See,
No.
they like to say this. They're like, this is one of the arguments that she actually made in the video. She was like, Islam or Sharia says, you respect the law of the land. What she fails to point to finish is that it's when you're traveling, like you're making your fucking trek, you cross through other lands, you respect the law of the lands that you're passing through, right? But it also wants you to spread Islam. So if you come and you settle somewhere, you're supposed to turn it into an Islamic place, right? So they pretend like, no, 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 no. Like, we respect the law of the land. We want to change the law of the land. Yeah, that's the part they're leaving out. They actually want to change the law. Does that make sense? So, like, if they were passing through the United States, they're supposed to respect the laws. If they live in the United States, they're supposed to change the laws to reflect Muhammad's teachings.
I see. Okay.
It's a real thing.
Then
I
that's a
actually had sheikhs. No, I actually had sheikhs telling me this in Iraq, and I'm like, what? Hold on. And they're saying it like this is totally a good thing, and I'm like, I don't feel like that's a good thing. Of course, I can't say much because while I was there, we were pretty much doing the same thing except in reverse. Like, you guys should be more American. So, didn't really have a leg to stand on to argue against it.
She has to wear the fucking hipster glasses too to add the cherry on top of the cake.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Like, Ayan Hershey Ali, right? Like, she's like from Somalia. Where's this bitch from?
Somalia, isn't she?
She's
Yeah.
from Somalia?
Yeah.
From when, though? Like,
She's
born and
25.
raised there? Yeah, she's 25. It doesn't say she's from Somalia in this article.
Okay, hold on.
I'm a fucking Google
She
this
just said
bitch.
she's Sudan. She's from Sudan.
Yeah, but is she from Sudan or is she fucking a descendant? Because you gotta watch out with that shit.
No, I think she was born in Australia, probably.
Right. Well, that's what I'm
Is it
saying.
not?
It's like people are like, "Oh, I'm Iranian." It's like, what? Okay, so she was born in Iran. Is a Sudanese Australian engineer. She's an engineer. Okay.
After attending the Islamic College of
Yeah,
Brisbane.
apparently this is not something they want to talk about here. Because all it says is that she is a Sudanese Australian engineer.
There's
But
an
is that
Islamic college in Australia. Why? You guys fucked
so
up
she was
then.
born in Sudan.
Okay.
Let's search when she migrated to Australia.
Well, she went to primary school in Australia, but she went to Islamic school.
So yeah,
'Cause
which
I don't
is
know why Australia
they
has
have that
Islamic
thing
schools.
there.
Well, that's when you guys fucked up, Australia. Shouldn't have let that shit happen.
Definitely not. No, but anyways, yeah, I'm pretty sure she's a fucking Western Muslim, which Western Muslims are not the same.
Are the most obnoxious.
Well, that's the thing is because they're practicing like Christianity in the United States. Well, Europe is actually worse now. There's better Christians here when it comes to looking at it objectively as like being a Christian, like what you're supposed to do when you're a Christian. They're better off here than they are in most of Europe. As Christians, for the rest of society, they suck fuck dick. But anyways, they're one of those like fad Muslims, right? So like, oh yeah, I wear the hijab sometimes. They don't wear it all the time. They probably didn't wear it when they were younger at all. But they're taught like the nice, friendly version of Islam because they don't live in an Islamic country. They don't experience the full, full frontal assault of Islam. Because they have to operate within the society. They're friends with non-Islamic people and shit like that. And then they tell people who are born and raised in Islamic places are like, I ran away from that because that shit was crazy,
Yep.
right? And they're like, oh well, you just don't understand Islam. It's like, no, you don't. You're the one who grew up in
No.
the fucking West, where Islam is just like this thing that was only like a quarter of who you were. It's a quarter of your identity, right? Like if you grew up in Australia, you're Australian, right? Australian culture is a lot more a part of who you are than Islam is, and that's just a fact. And this is, you know what I mean? Like the American Italians, they don't really have a lot in common with
I just
Italian
generally
Italians.
find that people who like, and this goes to all religious people who identify as religious and make that as part of their identity. I think that they think that they're better than everyone, and that's what irritates me. Religion at the end of the day is always otherizing. It's always saying I'm something and you're not, and I think that because I am this, I am better than you.
Well, that's the
No matter
left
what.
in a
And
nutshell.
yeah.
Um, but what I'm saying, like
Uh,
she's Western first, right? Like they got a picture of her on a horse.
like
I
I
don't
don't
know
even
where
get
she
how you
is.
wear makeup. Yeah,
Well, yeah, but I'm saying
and
is look,
wear the
she's got the
hijab.
hair tied thing like going on and shit, right? Look like her little her head wrap,
Version of
because
yeah.
I wouldn't even call that like I don't even know
I don't
what you
get it.
would
You're
call
bringing
that.
more attention to your head. Isn't that contradictory? I
It
don't
is
get the
very
point of the
contradictory,
fucking
but in the
hijab.
West, it's completely accepted because we don't have Sharia law, right? So she's told by these imams about how great Sharia law is. And here's the thing: is you get the same thing in like in Christian churches, and they tell you about how great Christianity is. It's like, yeah, but if you actually read your Bible, you'd be like, yeah, a lot of this shit I'm not down with. Like this, don't mix threads. What the fuck? Don't eat pork. I
I don't
love
know. If
bacon.
I
Why
walked
would
like
why
that
would
in
I not
Michigan,
eat bacon?
I would get arrested.
If you
In
what?
the way she's wearing her headdress and her like like mini
Right,
skirts.
and that's what I'm saying. She's Western, right? And she doesn't realize the difference between Middle East and Western civilization. They are very different. And when she goes and she does this tour, she's not getting harassed. Like it would kind of be lucky for us, but it would be bad for her, and I would not wish it upon her to actually get a little bit of that experience. Because some of those places they don't care. Like in Kuwait, they had a shooting on the beach that shot up a bunch of European tourists because they were wearing bathing suits. But it
Yeah.
wasn't Kuwaitis who did it. It was fucking ISIS sympathizers or members that did it. Because Kuwait's very like they dress a lot more Western than we do here. Like Crowd and T, he did a little my mistakes video, and he pointed out he was like, and I thought he was wrong. I actually commented on it because I was like, I didn't see any of that shit when I was in Kuwait, but he had said that women were oppressed for the way that they dress, and like they have to dress a certain way. Um, and then he's like, well, and I actually researched it further. It was transgender. So dudes dressing like women, they were the ones who were punished. I'm like, that's still bad, but it's definitely not nearly as bad as other places in the Middle East. So she'd be fine in Kuwait, but terrorists will fucking kill you for dressing like that in Kuwait.
Yeah, and
She doesn't get it though. Like this fucking video.
it's just
If you
another
scroll down, okay, so
example of privilege.
you have the picture of her on the horse, then the little clip, like the 31-second clip, two pictures. The next
Just
video.
her
Look at how she's
fucking
dressed
bra
right
is
there.
showing in her in the dress she's wearing in front of the ocean. Like you can see the bra lines.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. You're bringing more attention to yourself. What is this idea? Like it's really just about identity. And I actually looked it
Well,
up.
and
The
look how
reason
tight
women
that
wear
dress is.
hijab.
That's not allowed in any Sharia law. None
Well,
of the
no, in
Sharia
Iran you
laws that
can
are
wear that.
enforced, huh?
Well, you like you can wear tight hijab in here, Iran. Like you wear,
Not skin tight. Like it's you can see her bra and all that shit
yeah,
through it.
no,
That's too
no.
tight. In Sharia law, that's not allowed because you're not supposed to show the womanly figure. That is a mainstay of Sharia law. No matter where you go, it can't show your figure, right? Like so, you can have like tight things underneath, but you'll have like a loose dress over top. She
Well,
doesn't
one day when
even
I
abide by that.
reveal my identity to the YouTube world, I'll show my pictures of how I dress in Iran.
Well, see, here's the thing: is Iran they have their oppressive parts. They're not the stupidest of repressive regimes, so they know when to pick and choose their battles.
Yeah, because people fight back. That's thing though. Like I
Well, they
use
don't fight back; they protest. And
well, yeah.
let's be honest here. If they really wanted to do something about it, they could. But they
They
know
did, and it
if they
ended up like
push you
this.
too far, it's going to make it look a lot worse. And they got Russia as a friend. I don't know if they're allies, like how good of an alliance it really is, though. But they have Russia, and if they get too bad, Russia might turn on them.
Yeah, no, they know that they're in a place with the people where like there was a revolution recently for them, so they're not ready to go back in. But if they
Recently,
push them, it is. It's the same generation. It's within like a 50-year duration.
that's not the same generation.
Yeah, it is. It's my
It really
parents'
isn't.
generation. They're still the ones who are in power right
How
now.
how old were your parents when that revolution happened?
In their 20s,
And how old are they now?
in their 50s.
You think those 50-year-olds are going to the streets?
No, but like it's still fresh for
Right.
everybody. Like
Well,
it's
that's what I'm
still
saying. It's
new.
not. You weren't even alive then.
Yeah, but like the people who were
Okay.
alive then are
So
still
for
alive.
your age, right?
Yeah, and the
Around
young people are the ones
younger
who are
than you.
riling up.
No, I'm
Yeah.
saying is younger than you. Those are the ones who are going to be the majority of the fodder for the revolution.
And I think
None of
that's
you
what's
were
happening.
alive then. None of you were
It's
alive.
all the old people who are telling the young people, no, no, don't. You're only gonna make things worse. The young people are
Yeah,
the ones
because
who are.
they're scared. But the young
Yeah,
people are getting less and less like they're giving a fuck. And this is why I was for the immigration ban, kind of that dropping the straws of hay on the back of the camel to see where it finally breaks, and the young people finally get sick of it and overthrow the government. That's what we want.
and that's what I'm saying. Like, even if Trump is as horrible as what the leftists make him out to be, maybe that's what you need. Like, maybe if you really want to change the system and make things, it has to get worse before it gets better. All of these ways that things, like, you
Well,
can't
that's what
just
I was
keep.
saying. I think that's kind of the push with Iran is to make the people so pissed off because you have to realize that
But they're
anything
gonna
that
get
the
pissed off
international
at. Yeah,
well, no,
they might.
anything the international community does to Iran, they're doing it because of the government,
Yeah.
right? There's the thing is like, so if I couldn't travel to England, it would be because Trump is president. That would piss me off at Trump. Well, except I'm pro Trump. But how many people are pro Iranian government? How many people are like the Ayatollah is great?
None that I know
Exactly. So they're
personally.
going to realize it's the Ayatollah's fault. They're going to put the blame where it belongs, even though
Yeah, but
some of
they
the blame
also
does belong on the other countries, right? Like
I don't
our
know. I
embargo with
most
Cuba.
people just want to fucking live their lives and go to their jobs and have their families and not have their
Right, and
day-to-day
we're
routine
trying to
that just
inconvenience them to the point where they take up arms against their government.
I see the thing that
Hypothetically,
worries me is
theoretically.
in the Middle East, every time that happens, that doesn't seem to work out for anybody. Whenever
I will tell you
anyone takes
this: Egypt had a revolution, and
and
they
it's
elected
working
the
out.
Muslim Brotherhood, and all of the media was like, "Oh my God, the Muslim Brotherhood!" And I was like, "That might be the worst option," because I was listening to the media. Because you should never do that. The Muslim Brotherhood has been one of the friendliest governments to the Israeli government in the Middle East, and everyone's like, "It's a terrorist regime." And Hillary Clinton was like, "It's bad. This is like the worst thing that could happen there. It's all Bush's fault."
Isn't the
And then
Muslim
they
Brotherhood ISIS? I thought they were the same.
no,
Oh,
there are people, but here the incestuous behavior of all the organizations is it's hard to pin down because ISIS used to be Al Qaeda, and they split off. Now they're enemies, right? So you could be like, oh, they're Al Qaeda, but they're not really anymore. But the Muslim
nobody
Brotherhood
can
has been
agree on
working with,
anything.
but the Muslim Brotherhood has been working with the Israeli government. They're not pushing an anti-American narrative, right? They're willing to go to the table and negotiate with people and trying to make life better for the Egyptian people. That's fucking insane. And everybody was saying it was going to be the opposite. Now, obviously, like, was it Libya? Obviously, is a perfect fucking case of how that went completely wrong. But I blame Obama and Clinton, Hillary, for that shit.
Uh,
So Hillary got the international community, well, basically created a narrative where we had to drop bombs on them because they were our enemy. The government got overthrown and then abandoned the whole fucking place to just fucking chaos. So we basically went in and instigated a bunch of shit to happen there we started the fire, and then we let it blaze, and then we left.
Yeah.
Right, and so, but you could put that at the feet of Obama and Hillary Clinton. They were the ones who were had their fingers in the pie. Egypt was kind of looking at, like, because at the time when Egypt first started to fucking erupt, Iraq was the limelight of what it meant to be a stable democracy. Ironically, people don't realize this. When Obama was like, "We're pulling out," the war aspect of it had completely stopped. The fucking ISIS had been fucking pushed out of Iraq. Like, attacks were not going on
Yeah.
hardly at all. It still was, but compared to the rest of the Middle East, it wasn't bad. We were actually starting to rebuild the infrastructure, had free and open elections. We were, negotiating with the government. Jobs were starting. Power was being re-put in. We built like these brand new hospitals with state-of-the-art equipment. We're hiring doctors, and then Obama pulled us all out. But before he pulled us out, in Egypt, they were looking at that and like, why can't we have that? We're a better country than them. They've been in war for like the last 8 years. Why is our country not doing as good as them? And it led to a revolution. The difference is Libya was Hillary Clinton and Obama getting in there, sticking their fingers all up in that shit, creating the war, and then letting the chips fall where they lie. Iran, if we kind of not instigating it like Hillary and Obama did, but allowing the people to come to the conclusion that they should be a better place to live, they should be a
Yeah.
freer society, then it's not going to turn out the way that Libya did. It's going to turn out more like Egypt, if not better.
I think it's gonna happen soon.
Well, that
I
was the
hope it
problem with
happens
Syria.
soon.
The Syrian rebellion started. Hillary Clinton and Obama funded the people who are ISIS. Before
No,
we
I
knew
mean,
them as
what's
ISIS,
gonna happen
they
soon
gave
if
them weapons, money, and guns. It's like, we can't do that. If Iran has a revolution, we'll watch closely and intently, but we should not be sticking our fingers in that pie.
if America doesn't get involved, if they stay out and actually let the people deal with it on their own and overthrow their government, then yeah, maybe. And maybe that will happen. I think it will. Like, I think
Well, I mean, I want it to happen, but I don't want to
I
be
want it to
too
happen
involved.
too. I've been
If we are
I've been
too
wanting it to happen.
involved, I think it'll turn bad.
Yeah,
Um, that's
that it will for sure.
well, we don't know the ins and outs, right? Like, our best experts on Iran can't tell you the thoughts of every person there. That's just not fucking possible. So we could watch it closely and see what's going on, because you pretty much guarantee that most of the people who are going to fight that government are either going to be indifferent to the United States or pro-America. That's the
There's going to
hope.
be a lot of them who are pro-America because a lot of the people who are in America, the Persians, are people who were Shah people and they escaped. And like,
Right.
you look at, if you even look at Persian music videos, like all they're trying to do is pretend that they're LA in California. Like, yeah. So, and in Iran, most people are like that. There's the rural towns that might not be like that. And then there's also different like ethnic groups that aren't really Persian. And I don't know what they are. And there's like the Kurds and there's other groups. So I don't know how it would work out in like for those people. But I guess I don't know. I only know my family and my experience, but I go to the
Well,
restaurants. I go to
I'm
the
an advocate for the Kurdish nation, so
Where's that supposed to happen?
well, I wanted it to happen in like 2004.
No, where?
Still
Not
hasn't
when.
happened. Where? Northern Iraq, northern Iran, southern, southeastern Turkey, maybe parts of Syria,
Okay.
because
Okay.
they are in Syria, but they're constantly fighting in Turkey, and for good reason. The Turkish, the fucking European news likes to act like they're fucking terrorists. It's like, they're being fucking subjugated by the Turkish government and fighting against them. Not exactly bad guys. Now, there are bad people who are Kurdish, obviously.
There's
Every
bad people too.
every group of an ethnicity has them, but not necessarily all of them, and not everyone who's fighting against the Turkish government wants that.
and I
Wants
mean
terrorism.
it's even bigger than the stuff about like hijab and not being able to hold your boyfriend's hands. Like, it's just the climate of the country where there was a couple of months ago there was some two guys who just like one guy scratched the other guy's car. The guy
Nice.
fucking chased him down and drove this guy off a cliff and the kid died. These were like 18-year-old kids. Like people are just killing each other over traffic encounters and car accidents.
Yeah, have you seen the fucking shootings in LA? They're like rush hour.
Some
Yeah,
guy
that shit
crashed
happens
into
here
a
too.
car. He chased the guy down and murdered
Yes,
him.
that happens here. This is no big
Yeah,
deal. People keep talking about it. Like someone cuts you off and then you fucking follow him home with a baseball
I would
bat.
love to get out of my car and road rage and yell with someone, but I'm not gonna fucking drive them down on
Okay,
off a
in
cliff and kill them.
2009, a dude changed lanes in front of a car without using his blinker in Orange County, California. The other car chased him down, ran him off the road, got out and shot and killed him. Okay, so this is not an Iranian thing. All right,
It's just a car thing. If you own a
it's
car, you're
fucking-
gonna
road
rage.
rage is universal.
You guys know it's part of the flight or fight response, right?
Yeah, that's my theory. Thank you very much.
It's
Don't
not your
hijack.
theory. It's some
Yes,
shit
it
you
is.
learned.
I
Okay,
was the one who
fine,
came up with it.
fine. Then tell your theory.
She
Also,
read it. She read it somewhere and then
No, I
hijacked
came
it
up
like a
with it
typical
myself.
feminist.
That the reason that we have road rage is because it's activating our fight and flight at the same time, where you're trapped and you can't get away.
no,
It's
it's
fight
one
or
or
flight,
the
not fight
other.
and flight.
Right, but
It's
you
an
can't
or.
do one or the other. You can't fight and you can't flight because you're trapped. And so that's why you get more and more angry and more frustrated because you can't do either of the two. You can't get away and there's nobody that you can be mad at.
So it creates a massive amount of anxiety inside of people who end up road raging.
Okay, I have to pee. Are we done?
It's okay. Yeah, we're pretty much done. We're pretty much at the
guess.
2 hour mark. You guys want to pimp out Lolita or the book club thing?
No, the fucking book is disgusting.
Is it really?
I said this before. Have you not
Whatever.
read it?
Then we're gonna talk. No, I haven't started reading it yet. I'm gonna.
It's a 40-year-old dude with a fucking 12-year-old girl.
Okay, and
How do
so
you not
we're
think
gonna
that's
talk about
disgusting?
it.
Right at
It's-
the right at the
so we'll
outset.
talk about how disgusting it is. That's the point.
Where's Troy? He never showed up. Did you send him the link?
No, he's
No.
still playing his game.
Why didn't you
I-
send him the link?
Well, they sent him a link. He never said he wants to show up. He never showed up. He's been sitting in fucking airplane flight simulator for the past 2 hours, 3 hours.
Yeah.
I think he just fucking took his meds, passed
Did
out.
someone
with the
delete
simulator
my
on.
what I just posted in Discord?
What did you
Maybe?
post in Discord? There's nothing
I
there.
just Bill Maher, the thing,
Oh, that's
Milo
like
on
way
Bill
up.
Maher. No, it's not.
I don't know who's got the power to delete shit, but it looks like Mycroft is drunk as fuck again, posting fucking garbage.
You do. Devil's Advocate does. That's about it.
All right,
Status. I just
Vice,
did it.
come join us in Discord. The link is in the description. It should be permanent. Come hang out with us there if you want. For those of you who haven't seen
Yep.
the book club announcement, that's up on my page, up on my YouTubes. It might be up on Trigger's YouTubes at some point or another.
What, the book club thing?
And the announcements.
Oh, I mean, nobody watches it when I post it because they've already seen it already.
How they've already seen it?
I don't on your channel. The last time I fucking posted it, it's like my lowest viewed fucking one on my channel, which is
Wow.
saying something because I make shit content.
So are you saying that we have the same audience and they're subscribed to both of us?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay, well, whatever.
I would say there's a lot of incestuous crossbreeding there.
There probably is. We'll read more about that while fucking going through Lolita.
Well, there's a
and
lot of cross fucking in our Discord, so
that's
Talk
that,
about
that as
Pizza
well.
Gate.
seems like almost everybody's fucking everybody now.
Ugh.
It's disgusting.
It is. It is. But yeah, so that was that. Thanks for joining us. For those of you who have stayed as long as you did. Yeah. Okay. You guys have a good night, and thanks for coming. Anyone else want to say anything?
Yeah, good night. See you guys next week.
Join Discord or die.
Huh? Okay. There you go then. Night.